What's good, chat? It's Wednesday, and we're almost on time.
Almost.
That was
Someone was
dangerously
late.
close.
Someone
What was
was
that?
late. It's just an African American fellow.
Yeah, well, you know, he has a reputation he's got to maintain. So,
That's true.
yeah. How's it going?
Just one of the brothers.
One of the brothers.
It's going great. Like always, like usual. How's it going with you?
Good. I'm excited to talk about this show.
So am I. I just talked about it with Jay, and it's one of those shows that I can't stop talking about, along with the bear. So I'm excited to talk about it again.
The bear deserves its own episode too, I think.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Next, her first time on this channel, all the way from Dubai. That darn kitty. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having
for
me.
coming on. This is gonna be awesome.
I will try to behave.
No, don't. Please
No,
don't
no,
do it.
no, not here.
No. This is not a behavior channel at all.
No, absolutely not.
And
Well,
you've
first
watched
time,
us.
okay?
You've
Long
been here
use-
before, so you've
Security.
watched us before.
Yes. The degeneracy.
I believe if you behave here, you get kicked.
Oh,
That should be
okay.
the rule.
Yeah.
I'll
We
try
also
to be
have
super-based.
the Gooch.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, man, that gooch is ripped, dog.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited about this.
Thanks for coming back. You're one of the people who pushed me to watch this show, and I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, the writing for the show is top notch. It's great. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
We also
And welcome, that darn kitty. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I thought we would do some Wheel of Time stuff actually at some point. It just didn't happen because I didn't watch the rest of the series. I couldn't get past the land peeing on the tree scene. That was it. For me. So it's
Just
a
try.
bad show. Bad show.
Yeah. But you can enjoy it. You can enjoy the hate of it. Which
You
is
know,
what I did. But I don't know
did-
how long I can do that.
I did for season 1, but
Mm.
speaking of bad, you got the baddest mouse on the planet.
I
Sweetie
aim
Mouse?
to misbehave.
I love it. I like Firefly
Hi.
references.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for having me on, Zax. I didn't
Thanks-
make it all
thanks
the
for
way
coming
through,
on.
but it is pretty awesome what I've seen. And it's cool to be here with all y'all guys.
And
I'm
I see
very
that you're
nervous.
all. I see you're all dolled up for the show with the
Mm-hmm.
samurai mouse.
I did. I founded one special.
Renho Squeaka Mouse? Squeaka M?
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? What's Renho?
It's like friend or companion.
Oh, nice.
It's backwards for badass.
I just had to find a name with the word ho in it.
It just right. It's Japanese. It's Japanese for top loader.
Yes.
Excellent choice. Yes, the top loader legend. We've got the Gooch on the top loader here. So
I'm surprised the top loader has won over the prison story. Like, I thought that would be more engaging.
top loader. Top
At
loader has
least
nudity
it
in
has
it.
to be. Yeah, I mean, true.
Speaking of nudity, AJ.
Now,
Nice. Nice segue.
What's up, AJ?
now who was late?
Well, it's Copa was late this time, but he's also
Yeah.
part black.
Yeah, I'm black adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
backstage, we had all the facts together. We were like, "Yeah, man, dang, Copa, this sucks. You're late, yada yada yada."
Yeah.
And as soon as we go live, it's like both of y'all then chose a side and was like, "That darn black."
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like the cops show up, I'm expecting y'all to vouch for me, and
no.
Why
that's what
would you
happened.
expect
That's
that?
what I got.
Yeah.
That was a TV show in the
Exactly.
60s, wasn't it? That darn black? Wasn't that the
That's
TV
right,
show?
yeah.
That's
That was-
I think it was.
Yeah, that was the catchphrase. That darn
Yeah,
black.
darn black.
I
Ah,
bet it was.
Da, da, da,
funny.
da, da, da.
If not, it should be. I got a super early super chat from your Barmy. Thanks, your Barmy, from before we started. So $5. Thank
Damn.
you very much. No
dropped
message,
it.
just a sticker. And I got something special for you.
where you can all stand around and jerk each other off while you tilt your head backs and go, woke, 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 woke. And then you can come on each other's faces and tell each other that come on your face cleanses you of wokeness. Whatever is going to get you off and make you feel good about yourself, come on your face.
Oh,
It's almost
Thanks.
like he sings it. It's almost like a little lullaby. Like,
It is. It is.
Please send me that clip. I'm
Speaking
gonna
of
do
lo-
something with that.
I'll get
Speaking
it
of
to you.
lullaby, I'm just here to be Jana's ear candy, so I'll do my best.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I want to hear more about that after, but you're in the chat too. Dempsey's here early. Hail, Dempsey, Jenna.
Top Loader Stream 2.
Top loader screen too. Squeaka. Jana. We got ZBR. Hail, ZBR. Good to see you, Zombie Box. Nadia's here. Nadia's been under the weather, so thanks for coming to hang out with us in the chat.
she's a big Blue Eye Samurai fan too. I wish I would have known that. I would have, you know.
She was going to be on today actually, but yeah,
Oh,
she's
that sucks.
unfortunately ill.
Okay.
So
Okay.
plus you heard AJ might be here.
That darn black.
That darn
Turn
black.
Keep going like wait. Uh-huh.
We have got Sentient Dildo here. Good to see you, Dildo. Always good to see you, Dildo. What's up, Squeaka? What's up? BBD? That is. But that's his pet name for Janet.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has pet names for my wife, so
Yeah,
it's nice.
I mean, not weird.
No, not at all.
Adam Bray, good to see you. Nagurdinal, what's up? What's up,
Her
Nagurdinal?
pet name for me is Dog Lady.
I'm just her pet.
Dog Lady.
Whoa.
Dog lady.
Whoa. Whoa.
Bitch
Yeah,
handler.
Whoa.
Pops, you should watch this. I mean, you reviewed so many bad shows for us. You should watch a good one. I recommend this one. And let's see. Sassy Sasquatch. What's up, Sassy? Good to see you.
Oh, Sassy's here.
Is Lovett? Hello, Lovett. Hail.
Love it.
Agent Corey. What a crowd. Amateur analyst. I think that didn't he was on your panel,
Oh,
right, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. Amateur's awesome. What's up, buddy?
We got Trip. Trip is here and no Don to make fun of your name. So that's nice.
Oh, you mean tribe?
Tripe, yeah. There you go. Tripe. The dude tripe, as Don likes to call it.
The dude tribe, yeah.
Captain Infinity, what's up? What is that? Circle? I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a super chat.
Is it?
Yeah.
For $1
It's
million.
a ring of some sort.
Right.
Uber.
Maybe a Sonic ring.
And I think that's it. We're caught up. People now, oh, actually, Andrew's in the chat. Yo, is it not morning for you, Andrew?
Good evening, Andrew. Finally.
Yes. You're on time. All right. So before we get into this amazing show first, this is your first time here, That Darn Kitty. So can you please tell the people what you do, what your channel's about, a little bit about yourself, and also everyone's links are in the description. So please go subscribe if you're not already. And yeah, let's hear about That Darn Kitty. What's your deal?
Thank you. Well, what's my deal? I didn't really start doing any YouTube and properly until last year, 2023. I was just gaming, and then at some point there was a Sitch and Adam debate with these two guys, and I was taken. It was about wokeness, so I said, okay, I need to diagram the way this debate went because it was so horrible. So I went and I diagrammed that, and then Sitch and Adam saw it, and they got me quite a boost from that. So I started doing that. I started diagramming debates, but now I just diagram everything. It seems like I've done quite a lot of debates, and we looked at the value of these diagrams, and it's just fun to actually do them. But when we look back at them, I don't know how much sense they make. So I am trying to figure out what we're going to do next. So I have been doing some gaming streams. Yesterday I did a drawing one, as you saw. So my channel's a bit of a mess now. Great time to bring me on.
That's perfect.
Yeah, but what I wanted,
Keep
the
it a
reason
mess.
yes, I'm a South African. yeah, the reason that I actually was okay with coming on with this one was because actually I'm going to try diagram a show next. And Blue Eye Samurai was one that I was going to, because I don't know why I didn't like the end, and that's what we'll be figuring out.
Okay, interesting.
So when you do these diagrams, do you, because you didn't like, let's say because of Blue Eye Samurai, you didn't like the end, right? So do you do these diagrams to figure out your thoughts? Like as you lay
Yes.
down these diagrams, you're like, okay, this is why I got to this spot of not liking this show, or at least
Yeah.
the end. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly
fascinating.
it. It's mostly just to collect my thoughts. That's why one of the first people that saw me diagramming, they were used to my gaming streams, and they're like, "Oh, so you're a reaction YouTuber now?" It's like, I guess it's just that I've just put it into some sort of structure and noted my reactions along the way.
Right.
Yeah, it's mostly to focus things out. But I really want to see if you had to I don't know. If you had to diagram a show, I was very interested in what you guys would want in a diagram of a show. Not that you would want it, but whatever. Yeah, it's a thought organizing thing
I
exercise.
need to learn more about these diagrams.
Yeah.
This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I could utilize this process in what I do
yeah.
today.
I love it. I love it. I will bring some up. I'll share them with you.
Oh yeah, please do. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand the process. How do you diagram a show or
Is
debate?
Is it a tree?
Well, the
I'm
one
looking at her channel right now.
that my friends have done, that we started actually, we're doing Mistborn. We're doing a read through of Mistborn. And we actually started doing a diagram of Mistborn, where we had plot, character, themes, all of that. It's just basically a note taking device. I'm just trying to see. I need to log into my Excel.
You sent me a diagram of the debate with Lofty and Platoon, and it was like just one branch with like it's just Lofty's wrong. It's kind of all it was.
That makes sense.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious
No.
if she could do one of the gooch. Like, I'm just wondering if that's it. I don't know.
She doesn't have enough space. It's too ripped.
It's too. Yeah, it's bulking up right now.
Yeah,
it's like it's winter.
It's got
bulking
8-pack
up.
abs and biceps. It's weird.
Wait, no, that's another thing. It's just to try and take it step by step. When
On occasion.
people are disagreeing, find out where they disagree. That's the reasoning behind it.
Is this like your concept? Was this yours first, or who else does these? And
There's people that do it better now. That have, I guess it's just eventually people have done it. Not like I was the first one to do it, but it's just that I ended up getting a little community out of it. So it's been really cool. But yeah, apparently somebody actually did it with Destiny's debates, and my friends got confused. They were like, "Oh, Destiny mentioned you, and you didn't he didn't mention you mentioned your diagram, but he didn't mention you." But apparently there is someone else who doesn't. I am certain they do it better than me, but I don't care. I'm still going to carry on doing it.
it's a very
and
cool
yeah.
concept.
Yeah,
It really
I enjoy
is.
it.
It's unique. It's unique as hell. That's for sure.
But I don't know how valuable it is. But then again,
Yeah.
what's the point of
It's
art?
YouTube. What's valuable at all?
What's valuable? We're talking crap.
You're
right now.
valuable, Zax.
Oh, thank you, Copa.
Yes,
Pops,
Max.
thanks for stopping by. I'm sorry.
Pops
dude, it's
is
the one night
valuable.
yes, he's super valuable. It's the one night he's up, and we're talking about a show he hasn't watched, so that's kind of that hurts. But this show has to be talked about. This is it was easy for me to come up with a
White people inherently have value.
That
means
too.
Copa's valuable too.
Oh, that darn black.
My
Do something.
brain- every time
Do
I-
a trick or something.
that darn Cosby spin off that darn black.
I'm like,
Shucking and jiving,
My
AJ.
bad, Zach.
Zombie box reviews. I love it. That darn black. Hey, hey, hey. That's awesome.
I'm here
I
for
got
the pudding pops.
a clip for you. How about we do well, this one. It's an oldie but goodie.
Long story short,
I was born as a breech baby, coming out late, legs first. The doctors weren't brilliant and cut the umbilical cord early, and for a lack of better words, the cord wrapped around my neck like a noose, and lack of better words as well, I was sucked back inside my mother.
Yeah.
For a lack of better words.
Whenever someone says that now, like I want to turn the world into a place where you can't say that lack of better words anymore
Yeah.
Yeah.
without getting that sucked back inside your mother.
No.
I'm telling you, I had a meeting with my admin, and she said that, and it took all of my willpower to not laugh at her in face. I was like, just breathe. Just breathe.
CPR, super to $5, £5. Sorry, that's proper money. Thank you very much. And
Can I try one of these?
Courtney, I would love to see my meat in your mouth. So I've got a burger ready to go for you.
First time I've heard that.
I mean,
Oh, crazy.
I love my news bloopers. Eraserhead. An inspired reviewer. Good to see you. 420, perfect timing for you. Thanks for coming by.
Perfect timing.
420 is a good time. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Hello. McAdams first. Andrew. Okay. Not sure what that is, but okay. All right. So let's get into the show a little bit. So I want to know. I want to know about your experience watching the show. We'll start with you, Copa. What got you to watch it? How quickly did you watch it? What were your favorite takeaways from it? Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it, actually, including the ending. But yeah, Jay's the one who got me hooked on it because we were talking about anime and I was on Demon Slayer. And he's like, "You gotta watch Blue Eyed Samurai, bro." That's how Jay talks now in my head. And I was like, okay. And I watched the first episode, and the entire time I'm like, why is Jay, like, it's good, but why is Jay having me follow a hero that's a twink? Like, this hero is either a female or a twink, and I'm like, I just don't get it. So when they finally reveal that she is indeed female, hiding, covering up her femininity to get closer to these guys and execute her revenge, it made a lot more sense than twink, thank God. And then as you trip through her progression here, getting closer and closer to Fowler, the main big bad that we're trying to kill this season, I started really noticing that every single character is fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
Even secondary characters, they have a completely fleshed out backstory that complements her along her way. And then on top of that, you have people with disabilities as well, that usually in this day and age of modern storytelling, that's what defines the character. But no, it's something that hinders these guys, but it's not a character. It's not a defining characteristic. It's only an obstacle for them to cross over. And that's what every character has in this, I guess, kind of drama, is that they have these obstacles that they got to cross over. And it's fantastic storytelling because it just each episode builds on top of the next one, or on the previous one. And I mean, even Fowler, who is a piece of shit throughout the entire season, has a fantastic backstory that he only espouses for 2 minutes, his backstory, and it's completely heartbreaking. And it does give him a certain sympathetic quality that you kind of don't see coming. Like, by the time he's done telling his story about a childhood and how he had to kill his sister, or his sister died and then he ate her kidneys, which sounds awful. And it is. Yep. It kind of sounds bad because it is, I think. But you don't see it coming, and the way he tells it, there's a certain hint that his heart's broken about it, but at the same time, he's a gigantic piece of shit. And so, yeah, so this entire season is just, there are a few problems with it that I had. One, Mizu, the main character, she heals like a damn video game.
That's true.
Like episode 6, she has to run through this castle and she goes through this gamut of booby traps, bad guys. And I mean, she just, every single level she makes it to, she gets annihilated, but yet she gets up like it's a damn Call of Duty game where she just took cover and let herself heal for a little bit. And then she's like, okay, I'm good to go. I mean, she got stabbed through the Achilles tendon. And then 2-3 minutes later, she's sprinting across the hallway. And then on top of that, at one point, she's blown out of the castle and has to catch her male friend and pick him up and carry him on his back as they climb up walls. And I'm like, dude, all right, this is a little too much, guys. But outside of shit like that, I mean, it's wonderful storytelling. And it doesn't, even that didn't really take me out of the
So
element.
it didn't ruin it for you. Okay.
No, I mean, it ruined it for me at that moment because I was sitting there thinking about it, like how they could have achieved what the outcome was going to be in a better, more suitable way than like when she's blowing out the window and she has to catch her friend as they're falling towards the cliffs. You know, you're sitting there thinking like she's 120 pounds soaking wet maybe, and he's probably closer to 200, and he's just dead weight, and she gets to carry him like 20 yards vertically. That just doesn't, after everything that she went through, it just didn't make sense to me. So I was trying to come up with different ways that you could actually tell that story without having it be completely unbelievable. But as soon as that passed, because that was towards the end of the episode, and you started the new one, it was forgivable. But she's not a Mary Sue, and the show's not woke like a lot of people call it out to be. Because what the story tells you is that the world doesn't owe you a damn thing just because you exist. Like, none of these characters get what they want just because they exist in a world. Especially with Princess Akami, who I loved her transition too. She had a wonderful character arc, and I forget who she was going to marry. What his name was?
Taigen.
So Taigen had the best arc of them all.
This guy.
Yeah, he has the best character arc in the entire series because he goes from schoolyard bully towards Mizu because their childhood, they knew each other from the childhoods, to almost being like a supreme samurai leader, to losing that and gaining his friendship with Mizu, and then that kind of falls apart too. And it was a fantastic arc to follow. Most definitely the best one of the show, but Akami's arc as well, where she goes from trying to get Taigen to finally succumbing to playing the power struggle game and like trying to get the throne, essentially playing the Game of Thrones. That was a fantastic watch too. So all in all, it was very cinematic. And I'm pretty sure everybody here would agree that these characters are just bonkers when it comes to being fleshed out and real.
I'm actually like, it's so nice to have a show that has characters who have arcs, who can actually grow and develop in both directions. And I have to say that like one thing all the characters had in common is competence, which is, I mean, it's so refreshing to have competent characters in a series, and consistent characters too. They don't just do what you need them to do to get to the next plot point. So I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, and it was refreshing too that every single character loses at some point. And you don't get that these days, where competent writing, like especially obviously in the second act, is people have to lose things. What they're going after is not easily obtainable, and there's going to be heavy losses, whether it's like through character development where they didn't see a certain path that's going to lead them, like Akami towards the end. She's all of a sudden, she's not about trying to marry Tygan anymore. She's all about getting that throne, and that's wonderful to see, because Tygan loses it all now at that point, which is fantastic because he's willing to give it up for her. And so when she makes that choice let me explain this a little bit better for the audience. He was willing to give up his status as a samurai and just go live with her because they had a treasure chest full of gold at the end. Yeah. That they could just pretty much make it anywhere they decided to go. And all she had to do was come with him. And she stopped there at the bridge, at the crossroads, and said, absolutely not. I'm going to stay and play this power game instead. So she kind of takes over for what her dad was grooming her for, and she was bucking against for nearly the entire season. So that was just interesting. And what's also fascinating is the camera angle choices that they make in this show. That was really notable. It's very cinematic. It's not like anime in the sense that it's this two-dimensional space. And yeah, I know it's animated. It's rendered in 3D, but they almost choose these compositions as if they have a single camera, and they only have so much time and place to place it, and they are deliberate in where they place the camera and what the visuals are. It's not just happenstance what they're doing. I think it's fantastic, well thought out show.
Great question, Dildo. So you said that you thought that it might be a twink. Like, you didn't know it was a chick right away?
I was watching, so about 15, 20 minutes in, I was like, dude, this is either a female or a twink, and I'm really hoping it's a female, because I'm not watching a show about a twink just going around beating the shit out of guys. But for some reason, I was like, oh, it's cool, it's a woman. She can beat the shit out of anybody now. I'm fine with it. So.
Yeah, that's true. I got in the chat, I have a poll running, and it is the main character Ameri Mizu.
Very well done.
Thank you very much. And she's a Japanese Rei, or she's just a great character. Are the two options. So yeah,
nice.
Get your vote in. Yeah. Kitty. So what got you to watch this? How long did it take you to watch it? Did you binge it? Did you take your time with it? And you didn't like the ending, but what would you say was your favorite episode?
Okay, so I'm trying to. I binged it, so that's I can't even. I don't think I can even put which would be my favorite, because it was just all together. I think we watched it over 2 days maybe, and it was me and my husband. And my husband does not dig anime at all, but he even got into this. I watched this because people were talking. I think it was. Critical Drinker spoke about it. Just a whole bunch of people, when it first came out, they said it's not horrible. So I was like, oh, okay, let me try that out. And then I actually started to enjoy it. And saying I didn't like the ending, it's more like, why did I lose that? Oh, this is great. And it really wasn't that I hated where it landed up or anything like that. It's just that lack of realism, I suppose, that just where everything just fell apart. Like in that episode 6, I guess I could say it's my worst one. Because I could just keep one after the other, just going, okay, seriously, are we done? She died, and that's. I just want to see what that did for me, because it took me out of the story quite a lot at the end there. I just keep going, okay, you're animating pretty hard now, because you're just like, okay, well, it's fine. We just survived. We can't continue. So I can't really say what my favorite one was, but you're right about just going. So I watched it a while ago, actually. So I want to go and rewatch it and diagram it. But the thing that you were saying about all of the characters actually being fleshed out, it's so true. And I guess we're spoiled. We're not spoiled. We're so starved for that when you see it, you're like, wow, yay! Look, it's a story that isn't just moving people around willy nilly and saying, look, plot. You actually have actual characters that you expect them to act in a certain way. They have reasons for the way that they act. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I did when I first started watching it. I'm like, it could so totally be woke. It's like, oh, female protagonist, and let's see how they ruin this now, and they did not. Even the stuff at the end with her surviving and things like that, it wasn't like a girl boss surviving. It was just, yeah, wait, you took me out of the story. Not, oh no, a girl boss can't do that, or you're being too Mary Sue-ish, whatever. It's just like, whoa, the scales have tipped a bit too much. It's taken me out of that story. My favorite character is the cripple character.
Yes, Ringo.
Ringo.
Yeah, he is great comedic relief.
Yeah,
I really enjoy him.
He's a great character, and even though he has some kind of disability mentally as well as no hands, he wants to be great. He's almost like the conscience sort of the story, because he's the most caring character in this, and he's also, in spite of his handicaps, he's not useless, and he's not overpowered to make up for the fact that he's handicapped. He's just a good character who wants to be great.
Exactly.
This first 5 minutes of this first episode does so much. If you really think about it, up to 5 minutes, you get to see Ringo. You get to learn about the issues with firearms. You get to see Mizu starting her quest. All of it in the first 5 minutes, and I think it's done so well that you don't even you're being shown so much. And yes, the title cards do tell you some of the world building, which I know Copa hates, but I think that was a good way to do it, because let's tell us a little bit, then show us right after that and get us into that world, so you can understand why it's a big deal that this guy pulls a gun. Hitachi, was that his name? The Hachi.
guy with the name,
Haishi Shindo, or are you talking? Yeah.
The guy with the gun.
The pimp dude.
Oh yeah, that's the. Oh my lord, that's the woman. What did he call? They called him again. I can't even remember his name now. Yeah, he gathered women across the Japan there and sold them off. He was well known for it. And his name is escaping me.
Hachiman, I think is what it says here.
That's it.
Yeah. A gun of
Amateur
European,
says.
What's that?
Amateur was saying something in the
Flesh Trader. Thank you, Amateur.
Smart chat. We have a smart chat here, people. So then, Jay, tell us. You reviewed this. You watched it, week over week, and you had some restraint to actually watch it that way. Yeah, because I didn't. I usually don't binge stuff, but this one I absolutely couldn't stop watching. So.
Yeah, I've watched it like 3 or 4 times, and each episode, like the beginning, it was like an interesting build. I agree with everyone there. For me, episode 5 is where everything changed. The development of 3 stories there. You had the puppets, you had Mizu's backstory, and then you had Mizu's you had the history, the present, and then you had a kind of the future going on in that story, which was fantastic the way they portrayed it. The other piece in that episode, I think it was is episode 5, where Abijah Fowler, where he goes into the chapel, is most iconic scenes, like his dialogue, everything. It was just incredibly well done. They didn't waste any they didn't have any filler. They didn't waste any footage. The dialogue, every line had weight to it. It's because it was really well written. You mentioned Ringo. You're thinking that Mizu's going to be a Mary Sue, but it's actually Ringo that's actually the kind of the star of the show. Like he's wanting to be something special, and he and I like how Amateur put it. Like when we're reviewing this, it's kind of like a Shrek and Donkey, quest, where Mizu's Shrek, and there's Ringo like
Just running
bouncing
after
beside her. Yeah, and Ringo actually has to save her and Taigen in episode 6. Yeah, episode 6 was a little, and even you could even say episode 2 or 3, where she's falling off the cliffs fighting the Four Fangs,
Yeah.
and she lands on the one hand. But again, this is animation; it's fantasy. They're going to exaggerate. They're going to make these crazy scenes. I can forgive it. I'm not going to sit there and hold that against the story, because the actual story itself was fantastic. I like the settings, like the color schemes. When you see Mizu and Ringo, it's very dark, it's drab, it's like it's dark clouds, it's snowing in the beginning of their quest. Then it goes to the Lord and Edo, Japan, and you're seeing like Akemi and everything. Everything's bright, vibrant, and colorful. And it's just it's such a contrast. It's fantastic setting. And then the little Easter eggs with the avatars in the beginning, with the color of the background for the main title, just kind of led you into what each episode is going to be like. Like I think it was episode 3 or 4, where it was red in the background, and it was like indication of just pure blood throughout that whole episode. Even with Akami, like she losing her virginity like to Taigen, and you like everything was blood referenced. The mature content in it, like with Heishi Shindu and Abijah Fowler, like they just went balls to the wall with everything. And the one of the big characters that I loved was the Swordmaker. Like you had this Obi-Wan Kenobi character who just kind of mentored this young orphan girl, and you get a great history on her, and you get to know about how Mizu struggled. You're thinking throughout the whole time, you're thinking, oh, she's going to be a lesbian or something, but she actually was married. Like she was actually married. Her mother, at the time, even her mother. Yeah, like all the trauma that's happening throughout this series. Like you got Ringo, like no hands. He's a very simple Jack kind of character. Yeah. You got Swordmaker, he's blind. You got Mizu, who's gone through extreme trauma, being an outcast, and then getting like from childhood getting rocks thrown at her. You have Taigen, same thing, coming from a village, working his way up to become this next shogun, this great swordsman. You have Akemi, who doesn't want to follow the path of her father, and goes out and actually sees the real world and has to suffer through reality outside of the temples, right? It was just a really well written series. I appreciate that most, because you don't see anything like that. Like, this is what Star Wars should be. This is how Star Wars should be. This is what kids should be getting now, but we're not getting that. But this is what the kids. Well, I mean, it's
none of the adults get it now. Ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah,
but you're right. If they toned down the violence and language and nudity and everything else, this would be a great show for kids.
Yeah. Well, because you got so much depth in each character. You're getting so many. I like what you said earlier, Copa. Actually, I'm changing my direction of my conversation here. But I liked what you mentioned about Akemi, how she, was gonna, searching out Taigen. That was her quest. I'm going for Taigen. And then at the end, she's like, now I'm focusing on becoming the Shogun. Like, she's focused on taking power. Where you see Mizu stick to her quest. Like, she's staying. Like, you got these characters that change all throughout this series. Like, even Mizu changed. Like, she realizes she needed help. Like she needed Ringo, she needed Taigen, she needed the Swordmaker, she needed people to help her. So it was just a great series, phenomenal series.
What's interesting about Mizu is that she changes in certain aspects, but she can't let go of the revenge thing yet. And so that's what ultimately makes her pay the price throughout, and essentially, metaphorically, breaks her sword. Metaphorically and literally breaks her sword, because she can't let go of that revenge aspect of her character.
Well, just like like have it seeing like that episode 5 where her mother dies, like her husband kills her mother,
Yeah.
and then she kills her husband, and just like she's like changed, like she's like dead set, like she's got blood in her eyes, right? She's just ready to continue that quest again. It's just an amazing, show.
I found it interesting how they did that with it's a revenge quest from the very beginning, but she keeps changing to an extent the reason she wants revenge, but she still wants it. Her end goal is the same. It wasn't to avenge her mother after that moment when she is dead, but it started out as a promise, I'll avenge you. And mom's not dead. Is that her mom? We don't know for sure. If that's her mom for real.
I don't think it
maybe
is.
It's not.
I don't think
so
it
either.
is.
I don't think
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Because he mentions that's the maid. He's laughing like when Abijah had her, like that's the maid. And he's laughing. Like there's so many great lines in this series.
Yes.
Like, oh, your bones are breaking like a.
Oh,
female.
dude, I was going to mention that. Yeah.
It's just I'm like, oh man. Like,
God, I love that quote because like that means he's been breaking girls' bones all over Japan.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, your bones break like a woman's. It's like, oh, that's how you figured out that
Yeah.
she is in fact female.
Oh, this crunch is familiar.
Which you get in episode 6, right? The lead up, you see all the bodies underneath the temple there, like in the tunnels. It's
Dude, how many illegitimate children did she have?
Yeah,
Christ.
like
a bunch.
Apparently.
What they do too so well is every scene, almost every scene, it has multiple benefits. Like this one, they're establishing the relationship with her and the sword maker, and that he's a master swordsman. And then they're also talking about her, that the mixing the metals is what makes the strength, right? And talking about how she's a mixed race, and that could also be her strength, even though it could also be her downfall. And I was shocked with how hard they went with this, because like this was not like just bullying. Like they wanted to kill her. There was bounties out to kill mixed race people, and that you feel right away the full weight of that, and they really do like express, to me at least, how dire that situation really would be.
this is the difference between Rei and Mizu here.
Mm-hmm.
Her sword breaks in this series, right? The one that she's crafted, like she put all her blood, sweat, and tears to build this weapon that came from space, right? That meteorite, that special metal. She takes it and she gives it to the sword maker, and she goes, "Keep this. I want to come back and actually earn it, and deserve it." Like you would never get that from Rei. Rei just this this character that thinks that's your typical Mary Sue. You just it's really, really well written.
And there people in the chat have said this too, and I know that it is true that there's issues with how much she's able to do, because she takes on an army, kind of multiple times. She falls off the cliff, and that's giving me a bit of Black Widow vibes. She does heal super fast. So there are those things, but it's amazing what you will accept if you like the character, if you care about that character and you like the story.
And that's the thing, is that the viewer, the audience, has to buy into the character, and as soon that has to be right away. It has to be in your first 15 minutes that you're buying into this character, and it has to build over time too. So when Arnold Schwarzenegger takes out 150 dudes, you've already bought into that kind of buildup, and the same with her. But like,
Copa, may I slide in here?
Yeah, go for it.
You said Arnold Schwarzenegger. He had personality. Me watching this character, and I'm glad you keep making me go last, Zach. So I don't know what that's about, but intros I have to go last.
It's a back of the bus scenario.
Exactly. That's fine. I'm fine with
Yeah,
everybody
well-
getting their seat, and I'm just sliding through the aisle to my place. Okay, I know where to go.
Say what you want to say, Rosa Parks. Let's go.
Yeah, do it.
Rosa feeling like this is woke white woman taking down the patriarchy. This was wild. I've only seen up to 3 episodes, okay? So take my opinion for, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not pulled in by the character. As I'm thinking about, why don't I like this? Why am I not enjoying myself? And she's like an ugly, animated 3D Keanu Reeves twink version.
Yes.
And I'm like, this character is not pulling me in. I hate to compare it to other things, but as I'm watching it, I'm thinking about Samurai Champloo as well as Mulan. And I'm like, those characters, they pull me into the story. I want to know more about their struggles. I want to see their journey. This girl is just moving along. She trained, she's beating up people, she's doing things. Even with and this show decides to go graphic. So like even the scene where the guy with the gun, the flesh trader was like messing with the dude with no hands and pulling the gun on him. And then comparing that to the scene when Mugen grabs the full of himself guy, big shot in town, and starts breaking his fingers. And it was like, y'all got basically 10 fingers until y'all get the person in here do I want to talk to. I'm like, that's personality. That's showing me more of this character through their actions. And this female is just bland. Her story is bland. And I agree with you guys. I like the other two side characters, the no hands guy and the guy who's she cut off his bun.
Yeah.
The Vegeta now. I'm like, I like these characters around her. And to me, I don't use the word woke loosely. Okay. This is like a Korra situation for me, or a Mad Max Fury Road, where I think this is affected by the times, but you're not doing a good job at the same time on making me hear your message.
Well, let me push back on the character, especially the 3 episodes that you watched, and that is, she is supposed to be flat throughout those episodes, especially the first 4. Because she can't really give away who she is to anybody. And that's how obviously with the first episode ending the way it did, you know, she's in total shock that someone actually finds out that she's a woman. Thank God it's Ringo, the village idiot. But it's not until you get to episode 5 where they give you her backstory of her actually being married to a Ronin who's trying to win back his station with his master, that she opens up and she actually becomes a fully dynamic character at that point. I do agree with you. Those first 3-4 episodes, she's pretty flat, and it's the characters around her and those outside of her purview as well that really carry the show until you get to episode 5. And once you get to episode 5, I would say that's when the dynamic of her starts to kick in, and she starts to carry her own show, sort of like you know, Taigen on her back. I mean, she's really doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, that's true.
It's purposeful. You're right, Copa, because like, and Stupenzo, I told him to watch it, and after episode 4, he goes, "I don't know, man. This is all woke. I can't watch this. This is like, I'm like, just can't continue watching. I guarantee you're gonna love it." After episode 5, he's like, "Holy shit, was I ever wrong about this series?" I'm like, "I told you." And I think even Copa, I think you were even like, "I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know." And
yeah,
I'm
it's on shaky ground.
It is, but you want to continue it, and you get so much depth. There's so many layers. You start to like piece it all together, and you're just like, "This is really well written. This is like bang out great stuff." Yes, it's exaggerated in a lot of areas, but we can forgive a lot of that because it's animation. You could say the same thing about Arcane.
True.
Like Arcane, like as much as like as elite as it is, and that's like the #1 animation of all time. There's things in there you're just like, oh come on, like as if, but you're invested. You love the story. You love everything about it. So
I would push back with Arcane. Arcane actually did its job in explaining why she was overpowered and stuff like that. She had tools and utensils around her to make her overpowered. With this one, I can't really defend why she can heal it from one scene to the next.
That's just big exaggerated parts, right?
Yeah.
So,
and my pushback would be like, you have to explain that right off the bat, that this show, people can heal from one scene to the next. And then maybe the audience will buy into that. Not, for 45 minutes of her running through the castle, she's getting jacked up in every fucking floor that she finds herself on. And then the next scene, she's just like, okay, I just got to fight on. But other than that, yeah, I would say stick with it. Like AJ, if you have the same problems with it after episode 5, I would love to talk with you further about.
Okay, Andrew, I have this. Like Andrew always says, why can Mizu dodge bullets? I explained this in the when we did the finale, but if you want to sit there and pick that apart, like that happens in Arcane as well, where they're dodging bullets. Where Jinx is on the bridge and she's shooting at the kid with the watch, and he's dodging and flipping and all the bullets.
Dude,
and I'm like,
her friend got blown up with a grenade on the bridge.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh man, like sprained my ankle after the smoke clears.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
what? Like, no, you just ate a grenade, dude.
You're picking that's where you're gonna lose, and because Mizu, she got the sword broke when she got shot the first time. It hits the blade and it goes through her shoulder.
Right.
And Mizu's the character, and you see her. She's very analytical when it comes to fighting and combat. She watches everything and remembers everything. So the second time when he's got the gun at her, she knows to move out of the way of the gun and then counter it. So, am I gonna lose?
Squeaka, we haven't heard from you yet, so sorry, you were in the back. What's your take so far?
Well, I've only made it to episode 2. So thanks for the spoilers. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. It's a 0 out of 10 for me because I've yet to see a magical girl transformation, and I'm really upset at that. Like, where are the rest of the Sailor Scouts? For real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really upset.
Fair. That's fair.
No.
But no, I mean, to go with what y'all were saying about Mizu being flat, if you pay attention to the way it's written, it's like you said, it's on purpose, but in a more subtle way. If you look at the way the characters are, you see bits and pieces of it, and the action is so fast that it's like you'll miss something, and then it's like, oh wait, you'll catch later that, like when I first started watching, I mean, it's obvious that he doesn't have any hands, but I didn't catch that with all of the action until they really kind of focused on it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So it purposely leads you in a direction of, we're going to make this so action-packed that you'll kind of catch up later. And I think the point of her being so flat is to do that, to build up all of the side characters, so that way when it gets to her point in the story, it's not a matter of you trying to watch all of the action. You can really focus on her because you kind of know who the rest of the characters are.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen past episode 2.
No, you're right. You're right.
Flat girls are fine too. Flat girls are a-okay. So
You better say
They got
so.
personality.
But yeah, I agree with Copa. They have to have cake.
They gotta have a cake.
we all like cake.
Flat. If you're a flat girl, you gotta have the cake. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right there.
I'll agree with that.
But one of my favorite parts is I like Japanese art, and I don't know if y'all see a lot of it or look at a lot of it, but a lot of the, I guess, heavy plot scenes, like the fight at the beach at the bottom of the mountain, some of the forest scenes, the way they're colored is very reminiscent of Japanese art, like purposeful, not just animated that way because they're in the snow, but the way they're animated and the colors they use, and like with the waves and stuff, it's very bright oranges against blacks, or the reds and the black and the white, like it's
Against blacks. What?
Yes, against the blacks. So
AJ, sorry, dude.
Yeah. Episode 5 is her backstory intercut with a traditional Japanese puppet theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fantastically done.
What's that? Bunraku? Is that what it's called?
I don't
Am
know.
I close?
Sure.
Okay.
I would have said Kabuki,
sorry, Boosh.
but I'm not sure.
Watch all 4 hours of every stream for cake. There you go.
I bend over sometimes.
That's the way to sell your channel.
It is. So please subscribe too. So that darn kitty. Her link is in the chat. Also in the chat, I can't pin this for some reason, but AJ, you have a GoFundMe. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about reparations. I've decided to not wait on the Black Council and just take mine personally. Because of unfortunate things. Give me free money. But not all the way free. If you want it, just give me free money for sure. I'm not gonna smack your hand away. But I'm also offering my services, and this is where you gotta entertain.
Yeah.
You gotta do something for these white folk.
Uh-huh.
All right, and I got art skills. That's all I got. Okay,
Yeah, dance.
I can't play basketball. I can't sing. You can't have my butt. But I can draw some stuff for you.
How
Check
you
me
get?
out.
How you get in the field?
What?
Are you-
What?
are you- How's your gardening skills? Are you good at like doing some field work?
Hey, I
No.
got dibs on
No
gardening. I
physical-
like laundry too.
Oh,
There you go.
Ah,
She got it. No field action for me. No hard labor.
only in the house. Got it.
I'm delicate. I want to sit down with my dainty hands and
his
draw
hands.
pictures.
Very important hands.
Yeah.
Hey, Boosh, what's up, Boosh? Roman of the Empire is also in the chat. Nice to see you, Roman. It's usually kind of past your bedtime, so I appreciate you stopping in. Always good to see you. CLS has come in as well. Chat's Roland Stupenzo, good to see you. And Andrew, if like I'm doing a topic like this, and it's something you don't like, let me know. I'd be happy to bring you on, and you guys can talk it out on here. And like, I always want to have different opinions. So, yeah, I would love that. And Jacob, also, I know that you said you did not like it, but you watched all of it, so I'll give you credit for that. So he did beat your challenge, Copa, by watching the whole thing and not liking it.
Well, just because you watched it on mute with your eyes closed doesn't mean you watched it.
I have a question. Did anybody watch it in Japanese, or did y'all watch it in English?
Wait, there's a Japanese
I don't think there is.
with subtitles?
Yes, there is. I've watched.
Oh, no, no,
I'm
no.
watching it in Japanese with subtitles.
Oh.
No, we're not
Lucky with
sophisticated like
streaming
you,
before this.
Squeaka. Jeez.
Oh,
Okay.
My husband does not like reading his shows.
Wait,
Yeah.
I gotta read while I look at things? Ugh.
Yeah, what is
I
this?
watch
No.
English shows and subtitles, so I always have to.
Well, yeah, we watch
I
it
like-
with some. We do that, but he still wants the option. Okay.
What possessed you to watch it in Japanese with subtitles, Squeaka?
Because I like it. To me, it's in Japanese. I don't want to hear a bunch of English while I'm looking at traditional Japanese dress and art styles. It's an immersion thing, I guess, for me.
Well, hold on,
Unless I
Squeaky.
have to watch dubbed anime, I watch everything in anime in Japanese.
Okay,
Squeaker,
but have you?
Hold on. I just checked out the cast though, and apparently everyone is authentically Japanese or mixed,
Okay, good for
like their
them.
characters. So
Go.
just
Did you
thinking
make them
authentic
cookies?
voices.
I don't care. I'm gonna still watch it in Japanese.
You still got to speak.
Squeaker don't give a shit.
You don't speak in a Japanese. Squeak doesn't have time for you.
give it to me in your language.
It's all Americans who made the show, but Squeaka still don't give a shit about that either.
No, I just don't care. I mean, it's like watching Bad Kung Fu, you know? I want it in Japanese.
Yeah, that's awesome. Andrew, you got a link if you want to jump in. You're welcome to join and stir shit up a bit. But for me, like I didn't want to watch the show. I kind of pushed back on watching it, and I'd go to Jay's show every week and say I still haven't watched it, or I watched episode 1 and that's it. Because of that stuff, I thought current day, I'm not gonna like this. It's gonna be clear Mary Sue, obviously from the very beginning, and so they subverted my expectations with that. I have to say, because I gave it a chance. And that's what's cool about this community is people, if something's good, we tend to like push it on everyone else in our community and force them to watch it like The Bear. And so I appreciate that when I'm something like this that I wouldn't have watched, but you guys talked me into it, and I really enjoyed it. It was great.
I'm like, I get that, because I was like that. I was, just a day ago, I was like, you watch this so I can see you on Wednesday. And I was like, yes, sir.
I'm
need
so
someone to
tired of
hold
this cheap ass animation. This does not look good.
No
So
regret.
Andrew's the only one that doesn't like it. Is Andrew coming on? Andrew doesn't like it either.
Yeah.
Fight us. See, I just don't like the certain bits of it, but I wouldn't say that I don't like the show.
Yeah.
He gave it a 6 out of 10. He didn't mind it. There's certain parts that he didn't. He came on one of the I think it was episode.
Okay.
I want to say 5 or 6 that he came on and did a review with us. And
Yeah, I do have to say with the episode 6 when Fowler fires the rifle at her for the first time, I'm like, please do not stop this bullet with your fucking sword. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's where I was like, this is where it's going to break me. If she stops this bullet with the fucking sword and it starts slicing the bullet in half, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. If this thing splits apart and goes like whisks by her fucking ears, I'm out. Like, I'll turn the fuck off and I'll start yelling at Jay. But it hits her in the shoulder, and I'm like, okay, well, we're saved here. And so the second time he fires, that kind of makes sense to what you were speaking on, Jay, which is she's learned her mistake. By so there are issues with the show. I don't find it to be a perfect 10, and I don't think it's on the same level as Arcane. But it's definitely up there.
What about compared to Castlevania? The first
the first like 3-4 seasons.
What's up, Andrew?
There was
Hello.
Before Nocturne.
Hi.
I only seen the first 2 seasons of Castlevania, and that was pretty dope. I mean, Castlevania was great.
I loved it.
yeah.
I was thinking of diagramming Castlevania.
Everything's a diagram.
Do it.
Andrew, you did not like this show.
I thought the show was fine. I think Jay said earlier, it's like a.
What are you
6
doing here?
Out of 10.
Hate the show so we can yell at you.
I hate
You
the
watch
show.
it in Japanese.
0.
That's right.
No, I'm not watching. Listen,
His
I'm
opinion
sorry.
doesn't count. It wasn't in Japanese.
Listen, I'm not gonna read something while I'm watching it. All right, like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to read things while I'm looking at things.
yeah, I'm
Reading
trying,
is
to look
little
at
to
pretty,
you.
I'm trying to look at the pretty pictures on the screen. I can't read it.
Yeah, you waste all that time reading. You miss a fucking falling petal in the background.
Yeah, man, I gotta see every detail, every pixel. It's important.
So what was your issues with it though, Andrew?
Well, actually, like, I think I'd actually push back on Mizu being flat in the first 4. Like in the first 4 episodes, I was actually more into the show in episodes 1 through 4. I dropped off at like around 2 in terms of like episode 1 was like, okay, you're cooking. Episode 2 was like, all right, you might want to get off the grill a bit. And then episode 3 and 4, I was like, all right, we're back. And then episode 5, episode 5 is the one with the they're fighting in the slut house, and then like
The puppet.
the puppet thing.
Yeah.
That episode,
Yeah.
The Slut House.
I was not
Slut
digging
House.
that episode.
Episode
Yeah, the slut house.
You didn't like I'm surprised you didn't.
Haven't gotten there.
I'm surprised you didn't like episode 5. I thought that was one
No.
of the best written episodes.
What was episode 4 the one where Mizu goes on the quest to kill the kid?
Yeah.
Is that episode 4?
Mhm.
I liked
Yeah.
episode 4 more. I think episode 4 is probably the
Because she killed a
strongest
kid.
one.
Yeah.
Oh
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
she kills 2 kids, by the way. I love that
Yeah.
episode.
I
But
wanna
I think
be on-
that episode
be
was
on
more
Andrew's,
interesting.
I want to be on Andrew's side, but he likes Across the Spider-Verse.
Hey, listen. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, AJ. That's what.
Okay,
listen.
cool. I got you. You're right. Let's save that fight for later.
Yeah, we can save it for later. I think episode 5, because that had the history of her dating that one guy, right, or being married to the
You're married to the Ronin, yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't that part of the show really let me down because I thought like it might explain like why she's so OP. And it really didn't, and then it kind of just ended and I was like, oh, okay. The guy's dead. Because I thought it was gonna be like she watched this martial arts guy outside of this smeltery in weapons the blacksmith shop. So she's like watching it, mimicking it. So I thought maybe this like that episode 5 was going to be like, all right, this guy is going to actually show her how this is done. So
I will
and
agree with you on
really,
that one.
It really didn't. And I was like, come on, because I was like, if it does that, I am in for an 8. And then that I didn't like it. And then episode 6 happened, and that was Indiana Jones episode of ridiculousness.
Yep.
How many? Wait, how many episodes are there? There's 8, right? 8. Okay. 7.
Oh, hold on, you guys said
happens?
that she's flat until episode 5.
Yeah.
I think she just my enthusiasm, like my interest in her, really. I don't know if I'd say that she's ever flat in the show. It's just my interest in her as a character dropped at episode 5.
I feel like her story through the first 4 episodes is walk, fight, a little bit of backstory with her and the Swordmaker, walk, fight, a little bit more story with her and her backstory, walk, fight, until you get to the slut house. And and that's when things turn. Now I do agree with you with episode 5. It would have been better because she was married to a fallen samurai. It would have been better if he was like, okay, you got some skills, so let me like kind of hone on this because I could see it. Absolutely, that would have made a lot more sense, and I do agree with you on that part. But I still don't think it takes away from everything else that episode 5 builds for her and the momentum that it builds for the next 3 episodes after that as well. But I agree with you, like her, and I said this right off the bat. Her being overpowered is never really explained. It's just that's the way it is in this world.
They do have her earned it to an extent because they show her growing up wanting revenge and trying to train from all these people who buy swords from the Swordmaster. So at least they show that it's not. And they show enough of it to get she got different techniques, and obviously she's not going to be as strong and all that stuff. So that isn't realistic, but at least they showed her pay a price for it.
But there's also the part with the 1,000 kitchen knives. And I mean, she made kitchen knives. So there's no telling what herbalists and medicine people those were sold to or given to. So we don't know if there's, I mean, she lived with this old guy and they were obviously self-sufficient. So we don't know what medicinal things she learned. That could just be something omitted because it's not necessary to the story.
The other aspect, that's a good point there.
Because she did stitch herself up. So she obviously knows something.
Yeah. The other point that we're kind of missing out too is like in episode 2 with Taigen, you see them both like looking at the slight movements, even the simple little foot movements. They know the stances, they know how to defend and react if they're going to counterattack or if they're going to attack, what the outcome's going to be as they're having this battle. You're kind of seeing Mizu go through that development of how do I defeat this character, like this person in front of me. So she's a quick learner, and that I can say is like as a fighter, like you when you're boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, you learn those things and you start to grasp on really quickly. The more you do it, you start to learn and you start seeing things in the future of your opponent. So Mizu's kind of at that point, and then in episode 5 when she's with the Ronin, because that's the backstory of that going back to their past. She's learning from the Ronin, and she grasps on to throwing the knives quickly. She gets to the I forget the long weapon that she has, the name of it, but she develops that really quick, and she defeats him, and then he gets upset with that. So she's really a quick learner when it comes to battle, and she's like that because of her quest to defeat the all 4 Europeans.
Why couldn't like I understand she has this whole dramatic story, I guess the tone that they're going for, but I just feel like there was a way that we could achieve some type of personality from this person. Again, she's like Keanu Reeves, or who's the other it starts with a K, the buck-toothed girl that was in Twilight.
Kristen Stewart.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like this character was so bland, but then when I'm watching, again, I'm comparing it to something else, I understand. But watching Gene and Samurai Champloo, where he wasn't a jokester like Mugen, but I think when he walked in on that situation with Mugen, he was like, oh, this has nothing to do with me. I'll be leaving now. And then the story brought him into the situation.
But
As
what if
opposed
that's
to
the
this,
point?
what do you mean? For her
What
to be
if the
lame?
point is for her to be like to show that her agenda of revenge leaves her that way, leaves her.
I get that. I understand the justification, but I'm saying what takes me out of this show and make me dislike this character and not want to continue on to this journey with her. Again, besides the other characters, just like with Korra. Korra was terrible. Everybody around her was dope and was the reason I watched the show. And I see that with this. So it feels like I would be.
I think your tune would change after episode 5 because you see her actually being a female and happy in that episode. You see a lot
I
of the
appreciate
feminine.
that, yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of the feminine side to her. Her face, her hair, everything's changed. There's a big change when you see her as the samurai. She's hardened. She has like bags under her eyes. There's just a different tone of color in her face. Like it's the way they do the color schemes and the palettes for the characters is great. That's the one thing they do really well for a very simple artwork.
What's the bush? I like the bush.
Yeah,
details.
Yeah,
that's key.
It's a lot of bush.
Wait,
There's
what?
a lot of bush.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nudity in the show. I'm not
There's a
gonna
lot of-
say.
The scene where they go all running towards the river
Yes,
in
in the-
episode 2.
in the water.
I was like, wait.
That was, yeah,
Yep.
that was a
don't
lot of
need
wang.
Lots of
Yeah, we
schlongs.
don't
Yeah.
need that.
yeah.
Tiny Japanese schlongs.
It was there's
okay,
there's a lot of Japanese hog in my face in
Yep.
that episode. Yeah.
Okay,
There was.
but I actually just even for the diagramming thing, I want to even have a little. I'm sorry, I'm just bringing it up. I like the idea of the color palette thingy, that aspect to look at it because I'm not a film critic or anything critic, but it would be interesting to keep track of what colors they use because I want to. I'm gonna like go scene by scene. So what would you call that? Just color?
Your palette, like
Color-
your
color
color palette.
Yeah,
It's like
palette.
it's like the first, especially the first 4 episodes, like I mentioned earlier, like it's very dark with that follows, Mizu and Ringo. It's the dark blues, the grays, the dark purples, and then you see the lords and Akemi and everything. It's bright and vibrant and colorful, like it's like the contrast, right? So it's really well done. But let's kick the elephant that's in the room. So Andrew, let's get to the bullet scene. So that's
What?
for sure.
I think it's
Well,
stupid that she dodges a bullet.
Well, yeah, but again, I think it's, and I when you mentioned that, I was just like, oh shit, yeah, he's right. And then I watched it again, and I'm like, no, wait a minute. She's encountered a gun, like she got shot the first time, and she's the type of person that learns from her mistakes. She learned from the first encounter with Abijah. So when he pulls the gun on her again, she's already anticipating what's going to happen and ready to move out of the way of a bullet. So
She's Taskmaster.
I was expecting
if you want to
that.
say that,
She's a magical samurai girl.
Listen, I don't like. Listen, I've never
She's
been
a
shot,
demon.
so I can't say this. But like, I don't know if just getting shot by a gun gives you the inherent ability to then have super speed to dodge bullets.
16 frames per second, Tommy.
I mean, we could go the route where she has the power of slow mo because slow mo does show up in that scene when she dodges the bullet.
mm-hmm.
I could forgive one dodging a bullet. I think that happens enough for the time. And
See,
we
it's
accept it.
a 1,000,000 to 1 shot, no matter how you look at it, because he's pointing it directly at her, and she's only blocking her middle with the blade facing him. Like if it was like twisted sideways, it would make more sense. But she splits it right down the middle, which means he shot it right at her sword. Like this is
I demand functional
This is the scene.
fandom on this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1,000,000 to 1
Okay.
shot, no matter right. It's
Somebody
1,000,000 to 1
gets
Play it
shot.
shot.
again. I didn't realize there was a.
Just like
And
GFK.
plus, dude, and plus it's a musket ball, so her whole arm
Yeah.
should be off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She done.
This
And
this
was
episode,
after the whole ass
yeah.
dungeon.
This is Extraction 2 level of
Don't bring Extraction 2 into this. The greatest film of the modern era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
also what Jacob said there, the 10 guys on top of it. That was earlier on in the season. I was like, okay, she's dead.
You've been shot, Josh?
What? With what, dude?
Yeah.
With what? Do you want an answer to that?
I kind
Yeah.
of do. How many inches was that barrel?
That's what he get for messing with them black dudes.
I'm thinking it's woke, it's woke, it's woke,
See-
woke. All over
AJ
your face.
AJ immediately went, yeah, he got shot by a black guy. I guarantee it.
Look at that.
Messing with a black dude.
How great is Kenneth Branagh in this, though? As
Fantastic,
Fantastic.
voice.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
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 It was great in Japanese.
I was going to say, Squeakers doesn't know that.
She's like, Kenneth Branagh knows Japanese? He's so
One of the-
good.
But when it's all said and done, it's just that drama effect, right? It's trying to amp up the show, and
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cheap, though.
it's-
It's a cheap
yeah,
way of
it
doing
is.
it.
When you do
It
it,
is.
it breaks the suspense, because it's like, oh, she survived episode 6. She'll be fine into the finale.
Yeah.
yeah.
Stabbed in the Achilles, like broken ribs, shot in
Well,
the
it's
shoulder.
It's an homage to Bruce Lee, to be honest, like the Game of Death, where she has
Yeah.
to go through the levels. Like that's what you're kind of watching in that episode, really.
But I once again, I have to push back on that, Jay. Bruce Lee in Game of Death got his ass kicked, especially by Cream.
Yeah.
Dude, Cream like put his foot on
yeah,
Bruce and was like, oh shit, like
yeah,
his like footprint
Yeah.
was this big
yeah,
on him.
yeah.
It was
I need to
amazing.
announce something here quickly because Jamalama is a dude, and it's important that we recognize that because that's been a debate issue.
Have we been misgendering Jamalama?
Yep, apparently so.
Myself in prison.
Yeah.
Cuff
Big
me.
deal.
You will always be a girl to me.
Prison's not too bad.
Squeaka.
Yeah, I'll be glad.
Squeaka
Speaking
ran.
of-
Squeaka ran like 3 prison gangs at once.
I
That's how she got out. She had them all fight against each other.
It's been a long time for me since I saw the movie, but there's a song in the first episode. Was that the same song from Kill Bill, or is it just me?
Yes, it's the same fucking song.
Okay, I thought so, but I didn't feel like researching it. I figured
Yeah,
That's
no.
the other piece I didn't like. Is
Yeah, I can't
you know,
stand it.
The modern
Every-
music stuff.
I didn't like the modern music.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't even like the
Didn't feel
Japanese.
well placed.
Was it For Whom the Bell Tolls? That was pretty fucking cool. It just didn't belong in the fucking show.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that fucking Kill Bill like dun, dun, dun. I'm so tired of that song when swords come out every fucking time. But
Okay,
I'm
I thought I'd heard it somewhere before, and I was like, I think that's
Yeah.
where it's from.
and the Benihana commercial, yes,
Oh, I don't remember that one.
yeah, where the mom is pretending to be in Kill Bill, but she's really just taking the family out to Benihana. I give it a 6 out of 10. That commercial.
I do like that this show does. It surprises you in some ways. I fully expected her to take that deal to go get in the sake barrel, and
Oh, yeah.
that was going to be what happened, and so I thought it was pretty badass the way she handled that, what she did, that she didn't take any of his offers, and then he actually wasn't bluffing. So like in those situations, we normally get that it's, well, they're going to take the deal and or the guy's bluffing. In this case, he wasn't bluffing and no deal. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like I liked that they surprised us with that. She kills that girl. So there's her assassination of the other prostitute where she breaks her neck. Like I really thought for sure she changed her mind and was gonna save her, but no, just she made her comfortable and snapped her neck. And so I thought that was okay. Well, this is interesting. And usually that, as the show goes on, there's guys she lets live, and then by the end, she's not letting them live.
Yeah, man. And even the episode that Andrew brought up, episode 4, where she kills the kid, like there's one part in episode 5 where she fucking just stabs a kid in the face for just being a part of
Yes.
that army. And it's just like,
Yeah.
like, even when I watched that part, I was like, they're going to explain that, like, she cut off his or whatever. And, like, no, 15 minutes later, you're like, no, she fucking killed that kid. Like, just
Yeah.
straight up.
I
He
didn't
was
know how I
powerless.
felt about that.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was cool. Like,
I
fuck
think
them kids.
honestly,
That's what you get.
The character with the most death felt like the woman who ran the
Madame
the
Kaji?
storehouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
Madame Kaji.
Like, her relationship with that girl that she found and that then got kidnapped, and how that was like wrong, and how like the kid didn't liked her new home anyway, but then Mizu killed her anyway. I was like, hey, they cooked with this storyline.
Look at what we found.
It's a BB bullet.
It's a BB bullet.
Accuracy. It's a BB bullet.
Yeah, so Kitty found this of a guy who cut a bullet in half.
Oh yeah, I've seen
It's-
these videos before.
It's totally a thing.
Yeah.
Fun, guys.
The problem is that
It's
this is
realistic.
the problem is that this is the samurai's first interaction with firearms at all. Which
you
I think
saying
they should have played more with.
Are you
Well,
saying
so
he did
women, though,
multiple
also.
cuts to cut this BB in half? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not saying it.
I think this is his first
look,
time ever
look,
interacting
BB
with
in
a
half.
baseball.
I don't know if can you go back to the Mizu getting shot? I don't even think she's trying to cut it.
Yeah.
I think she's
No.
just like,
She's holding up the
she's just
sword.
kind of like it kind of just happens, and she's like, "Oh God, what?" I've been
Duh.
shot.
Yeah.
Dumbass Fowler is like, I'm just going to shoot this at the sword, see what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the first episode, she does the whole "I cut a raindrop in half" thingy magiggy, and so I think that maybe that's the tie-in to she can cut bullets, maybe, but then she just doesn't.
Well, rainbows.
Ooh.
Raindrops are slower than bullets, so
Not in
pretty easy.
Texas.
That's true.
True.
All right, here we go. Bullets. Musket ball chopping. Get ready.
All right.
To be honest, he did fire it in slow-mo. So I mean, look
True.
Yeah, what do
We
you-
Probably
can't-
find it. It's like a Korra in Rebel Moon. She has the power of slow motion. You predict everything. No, I'm not going to start comparing this to
Dude.
Rebel Moon. That's unfair.
You're right, though. She
so
didn't.
unfair.
She didn't cut it. It just hit her sword.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. I was like, it's convenient, but it's punishment.
And it really
the
establishes
fact
what they're
that
trying to
she's
say
still
about
alive.
guns.
Is a problem.
Oh wait, what's the problem?
That she's still alive after that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
dungeon trip.
Yeah.
There is a big giant main artery where that bullet landed.
In the side, in the shoulder.
In the shoulder there, yeah. It
Yeah.
runs
That-
like,
On the
Jay-
left side.
yeah.
not
Oh, wait,
the right
she's on the
side.
right. Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
Our right, I guess.
I don't
That's-
know direction,
I know.
guys, okay?
That's
Hold
the
on.
aortic arch, the main
I was
artery.
waiting
Mm.
for that joke, Boosh.
Oh, what?
She has the power of Zack Snyder.
Listen, let's not compare this to Zack Snyder, please. I
No,
don't
no.
hate the show. I don't hate the show.
No, Andrew was on. Andrew was on, and he gave his takes on it. He gave it a 6 out of 10.
I appreciate that.
And I'm glad that it got confirmed for season 2 because I want season 2 to be better than season 1, and I think it can be. So yeah, I'm glad. Like, if this is the worst thing that Netflix ever made, then Netflix would be in a pretty fucking good spot.
Yeah.
So
you give it a 6, you said? Overall?
yeah, I give it a 6. Like 6 is what I give something that's like got like really good writing, but then really like glaring issues
This one? Yeah.
that still exist. Yeah, I'm a dictator
Nothing wrong
and
with
an
that.
anarchist.
What do you give it, like, I guess if you were grade in technicality, like the art, I wouldn't say
Oh, like the art?
cinematography. Yeah,
Um,
art. I mean,
I was fine with the art. I thought the art was an interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's an interesting style with it. My biggest problem with it was the cinematography. I don't think the cinematography elevated the art style like it could have. I think if the cinematography was way better, I think the art would be like I would appreciate the art more if the cinematography was better.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm a live action director. So when people start talking about cinematography in animation, I'm lost as fuck because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where you drew the light is cinematography?
Yeah, pretty
No,
much.
the light rendering was done really well in this.
I think
series,
the lighting
like
was
mentioned.
good. The rendering was good. I don't know, like some of the shots of like her coming up to a city and like seeing like the wide shot of the city it didn't hit like I felt like it should. I think I said it in a tweet. Like if this was given like 4 months, just like 4 or 5 months of a little bit more either production, I guess I don't even know how fucking production works in animation, but like a little bit more to cook just overall. I think this would have been solid.
This was all done within a year. This series.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that would be considered. I think that would be considered the art direction. I didn't go on a journey with the shots in this. It was just like the plot for me. Things are just happening. I'm just going to the next place that I need to be. Which that's not an issue, just to move through the episode. But that plus the like the settings, there was nothing that I can remember except fucking I don't know, snow mountains. That was cool sometimes to see, but nothing else art wise made this. Somebody else made this. Who was I think Leon Words of Paradise, where he was saying like this. It's like a clean animation, and it seems like all of these are, especially with this 3D animation, just like models or like assets or some shit that's just like placed into it, as opposed to similar to AI, as opposed to an artist, a creator with an art style, and giving me this show. Seemed like this was more pumped out of a
I think
machine.
I might agree with you with some of the like characters, because some of the characters had the same body, like it just looked like they copy and pasted a head, put it on, and then like the body, they had the same like body set as like a bunch of other characters. Like it felt like a couple of the goons were definitely like copy and pasted, which I mean it could come from the lack of production time, since this was only made in a year. So yeah, that didn't take me out. I just kind of noticed it. I'm like, hey, you look very similar to someone I saw 2 minutes ago.
So you're saying they all look the same?
Wow. It could just be my subconscious racism,
It always comes back to that. So I want to answer Jacob here before I move this comment up, because I do agree. There's stuff like that it's completely unrealistic. Like it's not believable whatsoever. And I'm not a reviewer. I don't really understand. Like I just know what I like, and for whatever reason, I liked the character and I liked the story enough that I can get past that. If it wasn't good, I couldn't. Like I agree, that was ridiculous. So her climbing up that sheer building, the castle wall with a dude on her back, and after being beaten to death almost, that's not possible. So I
Anakin Skywalker holding the Chancellor and Palpatine or Obi-Wan just hanging by threads.
So I totally agree. I don't. It doesn't bother me for whatever reason as much as it would.
You forgive it.
The story sucked. Yeah, I forgive it.
Yeah, it's like again, if they established this shit in the beginning, then you would totally forgive it because of what they built with the character. But as time goes on, she keeps finding herself in these deathly situations. Like, she's got like 20 guys standing on her with a door over her, and you're just like, the only thing that you can actually maybe say is that since the ground was muddy, they were just pushing her into the ground and giving her a little bit
She
of.
suffocated though. She would have
Yeah,
made
she
it.
should have suffocated
Yeah.
still.
It's like that one
Obviously.
guy from the witch trials or Salem witch trials, where the guy was like under like a pallet, and he put a bunch of rocks on him, and they're like, "Any last words?"
Oh, that's
and all he
right.
says is, "More weight."
More weight.
That has nothing to do with that scene. I don't know why I compared it to that, but
It's similar, and we had that.
Yeah,
one,
it's
I think.
very similar. Yeah.
yeah.
She said, "One more guy,
That
please.
More men.
More men. I'm in front
More
of the
goons,
slut
copy
house, you
paste.
know."
Sounds
Yeah,
like my
about 5
life.
guys at once.
Story is
Yeah.
Lincoln's life.
Have y'all played Ghost of
I heard
Tsushima?
that. Oh shit.
Just throw him in a top loader. Even better.
Nah. So what's going on here, Zach?
All right.
Is she
Yeah.
blew him?
Mhm.
Is what
So-
you're saying?
Nah,
Bah,
she
you like
Keep
that?
did. Come on.
Bah.
It turns out the storyboard artist has a YouTube channel, and this is the video they made about storyboarding the series. I thought it was pretty cool, going into sort of the reasons for why the fuck's that?
Oh,
Somebody's phone or
Nuke.
Vibrator.
Boys.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know what happened there.
okay.
But yeah, this is I want to go through this tonight because I thought it was interesting how they explained this and how it was sort of because you mentioned the angles and stuff, Andrew, and the cinematography, and this speaks directly to that.
All right.
Those that I worked on that just got released this year, Blue Eye Samurai, just got renewed for a second season. I was working on the
And I'm gonna get trouble from fucking Trudeau internet. Of course.
It's funny. Jay doesn't have this problem.
show back in 2021, but it was a show where I learned a lot, especially when it came to filmmaking and storyboarding. So in this video, I'd like to talk about that.
It's a furry. Kill it.
Nah, that was cute as
You're
fuck.
shaking no excited.
Gay.
This is Jacob Mantua, and today I'd like to talk about what my experience was like working on Blue Eye Samurai as a storyboard artist. Now, for those who don't know, Blue Eye Samurai is a miniseries, an adult animated show that follows Mizu, a half Japanese, half white individual who roams around Japan seeking revenge for her overall existence. In the show, Mizu is often discriminated because of her ethnicity being a
Interesting too, because the showrunner, the creators, she's it's a husband and wife, and the wife is half Japanese, I believe, and so a lot of this was based on some of her experiences growing up and being looked down upon even in current day.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that they decided to make the show for their daughter as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Wait till
half-breed,
you're 18,
as well as
child.
having a personal discovery of what it means to be a samurai while challenging her womanhood. It has sex, violence, and other adult themes. So what made Blue Eye Samurai a challenge to work on for me? So as someone who comes from, children's animation, family animation, Blue Eye Samurai is my first serious adult animation. And not only that, they were heavily following live action rules. A lot of the leading directors come from a live action background, such as Jane Woo and a few others. Now, of course, there were other challenges that I had to go through with this production, but for this video, I'm really just going to talk about storyboarding and what made it so different from my other experiences.
Got Hostman, I think, here now. Here. All right,
What?
we're gonna bring you on the show live for the first time. Don't get my channel taken down. What's up, Hostman?
And behold, I am become death, destroyer of husbands, said Mizu. Hey, everybody.
Sure. Hey, how's it going?
Going good. Well, that bombed.
Thanks for coming on.
Relatable to the guy who said that
Oh,
quote.
shit. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm
No.
just on my phone and in my truck because my roommate is playing Call of Duty right now,
Based.
and he doesn't want to leave.
Wait, what Call of Duty?
Cold War.
Cold War.
It's all right.
Get him on that Warzone train.
Amen.
I don't play a lot of Call of Duty anymore. Like,
What's up?
I've mostly.
What's up, Hostman?
I don't. Oh, nothing much.
So you didn't like this show?
I did like it. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just saying I'll do I'll just fight with Andrew and do my Lofty impression.
Oh no.
Well, that's just that's not hard at all. Just call Andrew retarded.
Yeah.
Andrew, didn't you know that you're retarded? Like it just works.
That's
Like
a
it
good
just works. Don't think about it, Andrew.
Oh, destroy Andrew,
Cinematography.
please. Hello,
Yeah.
Sherry.
Can I do my platoon accent? Oh, can I say the F slur now?
Let's do
Oh,
it.
this is
Do
great.
it.
I'm kidding.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna say that.
No thanks. All right.
Yeah, we don't.
Blue Eye Samurai was a show that highly focused on live action rules, so we really had to be conscious of how many cameras there were, how many shots we could use, and treating the camera as a tangible object. Like refreshing myself on live action film terminology and how lenses actually worked. In animation, there's a lot more freedom to break some rules. Like sure, there are restrictions, there are certain circumstances and limitations that you need to work with. In this case, I really had to think about the camera. So when I board, let's say, a really stylistic graphic shot, I have to really think about how I could replicate that similar effect with the camera, thinking about the lens, where the camera should actually be placed in the set, and how to achieve that without just changing the size of things. I really had to think about placing a camera at various locations within the set.
Luckily, the set was already built in CG.
No, there were so many times I had to reboard.
Now, Copa, what the fuck is he talking about?
With
the live action angles and camera lenses and what, like, how does that translate to animation?
Well, so when you storyboard for live action, you're basically what you're doing is you're planning your visual roadmap for everybody on set, especially the cinematographer, and then on top of that, you're going to sit here and go, okay, so this shot is going to require, like, let's say a 24 millimeter wide lens or whatever. Like, I'm not going to get too much in the weeds. It's like, okay, this is going to require X amount of lens. So I have to go to the producer and say, this is what we need, is like, we need a dolly or a crane, and we need these lenses, and this camera is capable of doing this, blah, 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 blah. So that's pretty much what he's talking about. And so with live action, when you only have one camera to work with, usually, sometimes you'll get two for action sequences, but or like things that get explodey. But with this, yeah, so what he's saying is that with this animation, they're treating it as a live action where it's like, hey, we only have like this setup, and we kind of want it to look like it mirroring this kind of like camera lens. So this is kind of how we want to draw it. But what's interesting is this is animation, so they should be able to like 3D render a set and then just kind of like play around with where they're going to place the camera.
Yeah. Well, Surf's Up and the Lion King quote unquote live action did that, where they animated it and then they put it on a virtual reality grid, and then they used actual cameras to film everything.
See, and I would
like it was a live action that.
Right. And so I would hate to do that because that gives you way too many options, and you could get stuck in the weeds with that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing too, is maybe the producers or the showrunners said, hey, look, let's limit all these artists to what they can and can't do and let their creativity run inside these parameters, which from a director's standpoint is probably the smartest thing to do, because if you let like creatives free reign, they won't stop. And they think that they should just go as far as they can go. But as soon as you put parameters around them, they start working real quick, and they start getting real creative of what they can and can't do, or start breaking rules of what they think they can't do. But so that's probably what's going on here, is like, hey, we need these things set up a certain way, and we want this to look like a cinematic experience. So treat it as if we only have one camera to set up, type of deal.
But they did say that they did render a scene, right? They did do that. He did just say that, right?
Yeah, they render. Yeah, so they render it. But what he's saying is that they're treating it as a cinematic experience, like as if it's live action instead of animation. Because Jay, you probably know this better than I do. With animation, they'll just render a set and then just start plopping 3D models in there and going, okay, this is the shot we need.
Yeah.
We need the camera to move this way.
Yeah, and that's what you got in the Lion King. You got the cell painting art and then you plop down all the characters on top of that. You see some of that in this series. You see a lot of watercolor and backdrops, and you see a lot of cell backdrops, but they add that CG effect to it, and they add the character. They throw those 3D characters in there, especially with the fight scenes. They're all CG, and then they animated it on top of it. So or rendered it. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to. Sorry,
go ahead.
Sorry, Hostman. Let me get this out of the way. And it's
Yeah,
just
go
like
ahead.
it'd be interesting to see if we go along if the showrunners had thumbnails already drawn out for the storyboard artists to render, because then that would even make more sense. Because with live action, like when I'm directing something, what I like to do is I like to read the script or whatever, and I'll draw like little thumbnails as I go. And as I keep reading the script over and over again, I keep filling it up with thumbnails. And then if the production actually can afford it, I'll hand it over to a storyboard artist, and then we'll go over it again and again and again until they render it right. Just so when we get on set, everybody knows like the visual roadmap. We know what the movie's going to look like now from start to finish.
It's the same thing with a comic. It's the same thing with a comic. You're doing the same thing. Thumbnails. You're looking at perspective. You're looking at, like, we call it like you got your bird's eye view, your earthworm view.
Yeah.
You got like different angles that you're kind of like, what's going to bring that scene, what's going to make it pop and bang for this page. So you're constantly doing thumbnails to figure out which way you want to go. Very similar to what you're saying there. So,
okay, that makes sense.
For the scene for many different reasons, but I think one reason I could point out that made this production quite different from every other production that I've worked with was that it felt like I was boarding scratch footage. So in live action, there's usually like multiple cameras placed at different places and different angles, shooting the same scene at the same time. And of course, there would be multiple takes and footage. Because one advantage that live action has that animation doesn't really have is that spontaneity. In animation, I'd have to redraw it. And depending on the style of animation, there's way too many steps for a spontaneous acting choice or an improvised change. With live action, you have freedom for alternate takes. And that's all scratch footage that you can use. That footage then goes to editing, where different footage is cut together, organized differently. Some are taken out, some are kept in for the purpose of storytelling through film. When it came to storyboarding, it was similar to that, where we boarded a sequence multiple times in a different atmosphere, in a different angle, in a different tone, and just sent all that to the editor to sort of play around with it. Some were scrapped, some were taken in, or some new stuff was improvised. Now, I'm not saying that live.
Yeah, that makes sense. A good place to pause there too with the penetration. Love it. But yeah, that makes sense, because on a live action film set, you could get on there and maybe you go over with the cinematographer one more time, like what the shot's going to be, and he's like, "Hey, I got this great idea," or whatever, and it completely negates the storyboard. Or you have a good idea, or the actor says something a certain way, and you're like, dude, with this angle or lens or whatever, it would really make it pop or whatever. But with animation, that totally makes sense. Like, you have to redraw all that shit if you just come up with something on the fly. I don't know what the hell he's talking about with multiple cameras. Like, what fucking budgets do you have, dude? You're lucky if you get you need multiple cameras for just like a day, but like for each scene, dude, that's an insane budget.
You're lucky if you get 2 lenses.
I know, right?
Well, that's what like baffles me, that they got all this done in a year. This whole series. Like Andrew, you touched on this. If they had like 4 or 5 months more, you could have probably had a lot more perspective and depth into this than the animation that you were kind of calling for.
So Jay, have you done this kind of work
it
before?
just works.
Yeah, I've done old school animation. I've done like Cell, like the old Bakshi Bluth stuff.
Yeah,
where you're
have
painting
you rendered
and you're.
Have you
I've
rotoscoped?
Yeah, we did. I did like shadow animation. I've done sand animation. I've done like a lot of that, like, when I was younger. It was great. It was awesome. The computer stuff, I have no idea. Like it's like a whole other world to me. I'm like more into like drawing my comic now, like getting back into doing the comics. But I have always loved animation. It's just like always been a passion of mine. I wish I would have stuck with it when I was younger. But yeah, it's when you're doing like a like Cell, like you're like shot after shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, and then you got like, how much did we get? Oh, we got 2 seconds worth, and you're like, oh god, this is going to take forever. So it's
reminds
pretty
me of
creeping.
when the South Park guys first did South Park, and they had the story of doing the stop motion for the first time, and it took them like 10 days to get 10 seconds.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, like a whole day, you're getting like 1 to 2 seconds, and you're spending. But before that, you're spending like almost 6 months doing all the painting and character development and the backgrounds and everything, and it's quite a task.
Yeah,
I went to school for animation initially, and I switched that shit the first year after like hanging out with dudes that were in animation and just seeing how much work it actually took into it, that it took to get it done. But also, I don't know, I kind of learned that the people who are animating are not necessarily the ones who are creating the characters. And so then that's when I switched my degree to illustration, and doing more like concept design. And yeah, man, so like I'd rather design the stuff that you see instead of being the person that just makes it move. But it depends on, your skill level. You could be the one animating as well as creating the concepts and the characters and whatnot.
Yeah, and for this series here, Brian Kissinger is the character developer on this series for the animation, and I'm hoping to get him on the show. I'm in talks with him. So,
dude, you get everyone on your show.
Yeah,
and this just looks so great. It just kind of reminds me of Andrei Tartakovsky. It's just so wonderful. Look at the shot placement. This is look at how messy it looks right now. This is genius, guys. This is genius, you guys.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up Tartakovsky. He's like Primal is one of my favorite animations.
Primal
this
was
is
fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm doing a lofty impression.
This shot is like normal. Like this is, I was having a conversation earlier, and I was like, I had stepped away for a minute, but I think having the big room, and I think Copa was saying it's like there's so many just like options, and it seemed like this show went with some of the most bland shots, or just like normal. It's not bland; it works, but there's nothing. There's no personality behind it. There's no real style from the creator, as opposed to, and Jay, I heard you talking about the like the panels that you would draw for a comic book. You have to imagine that space, and you have to go in there and then make those shots. Like you have to put those panels, those camera angles for those, because a comic book is so restrictive. And this is just, it's not doing anything crazy. Like the guy looking at a book, it was simply that, a guy looking at a book. It was, not a shot. I can't think of a better shot than that, but that's what I mean. It's like this, a lot of the stuff that I see from this, they go with the first one that works. People walking, looking in front of them. That's a cool shot. That was cool.
Excuse me. Yeah, there are good shots in here. It's just that they didn't have as much time as they should have to get the show done, so they didn't have chance to make it like, I want to say, the Long Halloween in terms of like panel layout, if you want to go with the comic book route. But I don't think comparing a TV show to a comic book is very fair, because they're two different mediums of storytelling, and animation specifically is also a very different medium. And some shots in some comic books would be absolutely impossible to make them look right in animation or live action without just completely stopping it.
That's fair. I think we were just kind of referencing the thumbnails when you're deciding like the perspective of each shot.
Yeah,
So,
like the storyboards.
Yeah.
I would compare both mediums because
They're visual.
yeah, they're visual. A comic book, you hear people all the time say, "Ooh, they pulled that scene directly from that panel." So I mean,
Yeah.
you can do it, and
Yeah, but
Sure.
there are I don't know if I have it on my phone, but there's a panel specifically that you could not get in any other visual medium other than a comic book, like a shot, say, where you're looking at a side of a guy's head, but you see the inner workings of his mind. You couldn't really get that in other forms of animation. Where it's like what it was a side profile of the guy's head, and then it's showing the scene as it progresses. Like you couldn't really get that in animation or live action. That's really only something you could achieve in a comic book.
So he's
Well,
talking
yeah,
about Breaking
that's
Bad,
like,
Kubrick, this guy.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Is that a comparison you could make?
Sure, he's talking about I'm guessing he's talking about tracking shots and stuff like that. If I saw what you flash by.
A lot of, very thoughtful about my shot choices. And that really pushed my cinematic language and compositions. The next thing that I want to talk about is that it has a very specific style of cinematic language. Our references were usually Breaking Bad, Stanley Kubrick, David Fincher, and a lot of the show has a lot of, very still cameras, not a lot of shot changes, and actually really long takes. There were some graphic shots I had to figure out, like a really abstract close-up of a teapot or a really down shot of a group of soldiers forming an image. Like, things got very graphic, and I had to figure out how I would be able to do that using an actual physical set with a camera, and thinking about the camera as a tangible thing with lenses in mind, like I said earlier. And
yeah.
So I will say I've judged it harshly, but I do give this guy props for it. This show is not shit. I haven't said that.
Yeah.
It's not astounding, but you do see some of these shots, and then he's saying his influences. So it's like, okay, you are paying attention to people who are doing it better, and you're trying to incorporate them into your work. And then by this guy saying that he came from making kid shows, and this is his first adult project. I'm like, okay, well, now you're covering a wider range, and that is commendable.
Yeah, the animation studio is like Blue Spirit. They're known for doing a lot of children's series out of Montreal and Paris. That's where Paris. That's primarily where they're located. So yeah, this is a big change for them to do something. They were really excited to do this. When you read up on the whole development of this series, they were really excited to do this, and they were the only ones that could get this done within the year. So kudos
crazy.
to them. Yeah, kudos to
Because
them.
if it's 16,
Like,
if it's 16, sorry.
What's that?
I was just gonna say, if I'm gonna levy a criticism at the show, you can tell they don't do a lot of. The studio doesn't do a lot of adult stuff, because there were some scenes where I'm just like, you didn't have to put that in there, like the BDSM shots in Madame Kaji's brothel, and like just some of the gore and some of the love scenes. I didn't really think the show needed them, but what am I going to complain about? It wasn't like so shock jockey that I'm just like, I can't handle this, but it was just, it kind of did feel unnecessary to me at times.
Kitty, what were you saying?
Basically, I was just asking, like, because it's actually been this like sort of breakout success. I suppose we're going to get a season 2. And
I believe it was confirmed.
That's been
right?
confirmed.
My question is, so will they have more time then for the season 2? Because it's like, oh great, they put it together in a year. Also, good morning. The sun's just coming out. out. So what do we think that they'll have more time? And also, do you guys think that them having more time is going to ruin it? Because sometimes when these things get successful, there's more attention, more people on it, and then they ruin it.
That was my fear. That's my fear for Arcane and for Blue Eye Samurai. With Blue Eye Samurai, I know they said they had enough story for like I think 4 or 5 seasons.
Really?
He said,
yeah,
5 seasons.
Yeah.
He said in a max of 3 and 4 seasons.
Okay, 3 and 4. Yeah, I think they probably will have more time and probably more funds to do. I'm hoping, but with anything, a second season, that's where majority of like movies or series usually kind of fail. It's kind of rare for a second. Like the bear was that was that whole other level. That was incredible. But yeah, I'm hoping.
I agree with you, and it's because once they get approved for that second season, because they did so well with that first one, usually with the second one, they get the parameters knocked off them. They're like, okay, you know what you're doing, so we're going to increase your budget, and we're not really going to loom over you with story and stuff like that. And people just start going wild with this shit. Instead of going, okay, we still need to set up like the sandbox that we're going to play in. They usually go, oh, we could do all this crazy shit now, and they start implementing all the crazy shit they can think of. So we'll see where they go, especially with Arcane and this one. But it's usually means a disaster. Unlike the bear, where and I described this in my review that's coming up with the bear, like everything that they do in the bear should spell disaster. They break up the group essentially. The one character goes all the way to Copenhagen. That's where a lot of the budget went. Because they actually shot it there. But they were still able to keep it contained on a writing level as well. So usually and I think the showrunners of Blue-Eyed Samurai are capable storytellers.
Yeah.
Well, one of them did write on Logan, so
yeah,
Michael Green, I believe.
Yeah,
Michael Green is the name of the writer that wrote on Logan too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't take the wrong lessons from the success of the show, though. Like, because they really could, and
I could see a lot of this going to shit really quick.
You're not wrong.
That's my fear. That is my fear.
Especially when they get to London, and then let's say they start treating Mizu even worse than the Japanese did, then you're going to go, okay, all right. She's going to get treated like shit.
Yeah.
But if they give her even worse shit for being half Japanese,
well, it's 1600s, right? Well, we don't even know if she's going to make it to the UK. So, like,
well, there was
that's the other piece we were talking about when you were on Copa. We said, like, what if she lands in like India or something like that? Because
we're going to Australia.
That would make sense for her going to India. Like, what if the guys are in India?
Well, they did say, I think Michael Green, it was, said in their official statement that Mizu will face harsh treatment at the hands of the British, but she will also learn that not all white people are devils as she once thought.
Dude, she lost all white people.
Is that really going to happen on a Netflix show? Okay, I'm glad.
I know it's shocking, but that's what he said. That's one thing that I was really surprised about with the show. Like, when I first saw Mizu, I swear I was like, oh gosh, she's going to be non-binary, isn't she? And then she's never going to get hurt, not even once. And then, like, what's her name? The girl, the other one.
Akemi?
Akemi, yes, thank you. Akemi, like, oh, she's just going to get everything she wants, but nope, she just doesn't get anything she wants, and she winds up becoming super power hungry, which I thought was really refreshing.
Yeah, realistic too. Because women are power hungry all the time.
Yeah, you gotta keep them in the kitchen. I swear you. I swear, you got to keep them in the kitchen, and then they start. And if they're not, they start getting ideas.
Some of us don't belong in the kitchen. You don't want us there.
Some of us belong in the laundry room.
Yes.
Well, go to school,
Yes.
damn it.
We get
The prison laundry room, right?
I want to play
And the
a quick
other
clip
one
here
in the kitchen.
because it's this is I just want to play because I want to break things up a bit here. But this is from your show, Jay. I pulled this clip.
And so yeah, my grandma, my granny was the first one to turn me on.
Yeah, my granny was the first one to turn me on.
I can believe that coming from Leon.
Yeah, I mean, it's Leon.
Common Leon L.
With his silken Chinese
Oh,
hair. Of course his
yeah.
grandma was the one who
I love Leon. Gotta love
He's
Leon.
great. He's great.
He's a big ball of positivity. It's disgusting.
Gross.
Yes, it's super gross.
Yeah. So this is what his experience was like. I don't want to play the audio because that way we can just talk over it. I'll leave it running with Captain. If you want me to stop, I'll stop it. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to see that it's a different approach than normal.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting that, like I said, they have the tools to get absolutely nuts with it and be like, okay, like render a 3D set and then plop some 3D models in there, and we could go to town like all day for as long as we want to figure out like the shots for this one scene. So it's interesting that they actually were like, no, we'll treat this like a cinematic. So yeah, see, here's like a bunch of
The
thumbnails.
Thumbnails.
Yeah, this is exactly what I would draw while reading a script.
Yep.
It actually, mine would be worse. Mine, because I can't draw for shit,
Dude.
And me and Jay are going to drop our comic where I illustrate my stick figures in it. But yeah, like that's what you do is like you thumbnail this shit out for the storyboard artist. And it's really interesting that they did the same thing. They really did treat it like a live action.
Mm-hmm. And,
Yes,
it worked.
It totally works.
Yeah, the Lion King was the first one to do that. They were the first ones to do the CG stuff.
What's interesting is Avatar, the first one. I can't fucking stand that movie, but
where's Lofty?
Lofty?
Where's Lofty? Yeah, dude.
You
don't know
Oh my
how
gosh,
much I wanted to
hate
be on
Avatar.
that fucking
You just
stream.
don't hate.
Anyways,
I hate Avatar. Yeah,
so
I don't like.
Oh my gosh, you just hate Avatar. It's like one of the greatest, most successful movies of all time. Don't you know that, Copa? Oh my god.
Oh, that's right. I'm retarded.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
Copa, you're retarded. Avatar was successful for a reason. It's fun. Just turn your brain off, man.
What was interesting was when I was still working in Hollywood at the DGA, they invited us to watch Avatar before it came out, and then afterwards, the producers presented to us the tech that went behind it and how they staged in this horseshoe just every single major department head had their own station. Like you had the editors in the editing bay, and then you had the cinematographer, whatever the fuck that meant, because all he did was like, oh, plop the light into there, and then it comes out in the computer. It just didn't make any sense. But anyways, but what's interesting is like James Cameron had like this iPad looking thing, and he could just walk around with everybody in their motion capture suits, and on his screen he could see the fucking world in front of his face. Like he's actually watching the damn movie as he moves around. Like, but you see like the video of him walking around, and it's just a bunch of people in motion capture suits inside of a fucking airplane hangar. So that was really interesting too. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, I know so many people who are so undisciplined that if they were holding that fucking thing, it'd be all day before they actually shoot something. It's fucking true. It's so true. Like you get stuck just sitting there trying to be all artistic and shit. So that was interesting. So with that being said, was that what Lion King was doing too? Was like Jon
No,
Favreau-
they took they actually were the first ones to do because there were like for forever they were cell and cell animation and stop motion and all that stuff, and then they were the first ones to take computer graphic animation and blend it with cell. So like all the backgrounds is all cell art, and then they took the characters and they plopped them in with the computer animation.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they were the first ones to kind of bring it to the forefront, and then Toy Story just went up another level, right? But that's why it was amazing to me, because you could see the cell art in the background, but you see the computer animation in the forefront with all the characters like Simba and all them. So because they could move them 3D, you're getting all different perspectives and angles with them where you couldn't do that with cell. It was like when you watch The Rescuers or you watch Lady and the Tramp, it's 2D really. Like it's like it looks, if they can make it look like 3D with the rendering and the color and all that, but it's 2D. It's
They just a seizure this video.
Okay.
This process is fascinating to me. Like drawing all of this out like that,
in
and then,
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Dude, if I did this in Photoshop, I want to like off myself, dude.
Yeah,
There's no fucking way.
Dude, just give me
It's
a pen
over
and pencil.
and
Just
over.
just give me a pen and pencil. I give you two
Yeah.
stick
Yeah.
figures and like what looks like maybe lines back there, and I'll be like, "That's bamboo." It's like,
Yeah.
I'm so terrible at thumbnailing,
Dude,
but it gets the idea across.
I can barely draw with my hands. That sword would look like a dildo if I tried to do this in Photoshop.
That would be fine though. If you're like, all right, like this is a dick, but
Bro, add a couple veins to it. You're all
Yeah,
good.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it'd be like everything everywhere all at once. Dildo fight!
Janet can attest to my thumbnailing skills and just how good
Oh.
I am.
Ooh.
She loves my thumbnail.
So we're talking about the same thing.
No.
Oh. Okay. All right. Let's Squeaka, you gotta head out.
Yes. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Thanks for coming on.
5 a.m. comes awfully early.
No kidding. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Hanging out.
Where are you at?
Central Standard Time, the only time zone that matters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
The real
It's like 10
the real
o'clock.
time zone.
I'm on Mountain Time, so it's like 10 o'clock for me.
Oh, it's 11:15 here.
You have a channel, Squeaka.
I do.
Tell us about it.
I have a channel.
Nice. Cool.
Oh, what?
And-
Hell
I
yeah.
have like 50 something subs, but there's no content.
So
And YouTube saves me because every time I try to go on YouTube, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to start streaming something and ramble at people. And then it says, you have to wait 24 hours. I'm like, oh, thanks for saving me again, YouTube, from that mistake.
You have to wait 24 hours.
I don't know. It's I don't know. It's StreamYard.
Is there like a requirement for streaming now? That you
I
need a
don't know,
certain
it
amount
just
of
tells me.
subscribers or something?
No, it just tells me you have to wait 20. It's like you're ready to set up. I don't remember what it said. It just every time I click on start streaming now, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I just click a button and it says you have to wait, and I'm like, okay, cool. See, Jana knows. She said she had to wait 24 hours too. See, I'm not alone.
Oh, I guess it must be a sub thing. Must be.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But no, I don't have a channel.
Yeah. Who's
do.
winning though? Squeaka has no content and has 50 subscribers, so she's the
And
real winner.
Jana's
of this panel.
unreliable. She just
Amazing.
burns down Wendy's. Like that's
That's true.
Yeah.
She
I
does burn
watched
down
it.
Wendy's.
I gotta step up my game. I got 300 followers on Twitter, no content on my YouTube channel, and like 20 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Oh.
But it's my first subscriber that's my favorite, so
Aw.
that's all that matters.
And who was that, Squeaka?
Zaxamillion.
Oh, it was me. I was the first.
You were?
That's sweet.
Wow. You never forget your first.
No, never. With shoulders like that, how could you? He just kind of just pushed his way in, and what was it, for lack of a better word?
Oh,
It went back
Phrasing.
out. It sucked himself back in.
You guys are so dirty. You guys are making Abijah Fowler Blush.
Squeak, I'll put your link is in the chat, so please go give her a sub because she's gonna have content there at
Subscriber
some
number
point.
55.
That's right. 55.
Yeah, let's get her 100, guys.
Yeah.
No, that's so mean.
Let's get her
Do
to
it.
100.
Let's get her 100.
Get her to 100. Do
Squeaka,
it.
you can
I'll visit you in your
Squeaka,
sleep.
We'll do this
69 by Sunday.
We're on this stream until Squeaka gets 100.
Oh,
man.
I'll do like I do
Yes.
on Zach's streams. I'll just sit there and
Yes.
talk about.
I'll skip class tomorrow. I'll do
I'll
it.
put myself at the bottom.
See, Zax does it right. He gets a bunch of talkers and he just sits back.
That's right.
And does this.
Take the day off. Yeah. I have what I do is I get lost in all these. I have like so many tabs open. It's ridiculous right now. And so trying to find the StreamYard is always the challenge at the end. I have to get back there eventually. So when
I
you guys
love
are
it when
talking,
I accidentally
I'm
mute
lost.
the StreamYard one, and then I can't find it.
Oh, But that's a problem. I didn't say.
But thanks
stop.
for having me on. It was cool to hang out with all y'all.
Thanks for coming on, Squeaka. You're awesome.
I think this is the first time they've been on with Squeaka.
Well, aren't you just
Oh.
the lucky one?
This is the first. This is the first time. This is the first time I've been on with Squeaka, and frankly, everybody here except for Andrew.
Ah, yes.
I like how you said that at the end there. Except
Yeah.
for Andrew.
I just like how he's like, this
Yeah,
is my first
and
time with
Drew.
Squeaka and everybody else. Yeah.
You should have said, for a lack of better words.
You should have.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the white couch. Oh no!
And thanks for taking such good care of me, Copa.
No problem, Squeaka. Anytime. You're one of my
Y'all have a-
favorites.
Aw.
Thank you, Squeaka.
Y'all have a good night. Thanks again, Zach.
You too. Thanks for coming on.
Bye, Squeaka. Have a good one.
Good night. We should probably wrap it up right away here. Anyways, I think this.
Yeah, some of us got to get to work, because
Yes, that's right.
daytime.
You were up at 6:30 in the morning for this, so I appreciate that very much. That darn kitty. So let's
Thank you so much for having me.
let's go and figure out what you guys are up to and get people to go sub to you and all that good stuff. Kitty, you want to go first? What's your week like? What do you have scheduled? Do you have planned stream times? What's your deal?
Okay, so Thursdays is the only really consistent stream time because I have a panel show then. Way more random than this. It's very disorganized. It's called Thinkers. Zach is always welcome, but he comes and says hi, then moves. But yeah, we do a think. We have 3 or 4 topics on a Thursday, and a whole bunch of me and my friends. We get some of them are streamers, most of them are streamers. We get together and we just discuss stuff. One of the things that we're going to do today or tonight, because it's Thursday where I am,
Right.
is we're going to talk about sovereign citizens.
Oh,
They're
their
some of my
antics.
favorite people.
I love it.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. I'm very fascinated.
God, they're
by them.
so fucking cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna look at those. There's some drama stuff that we're gonna look at. Yeah, so that's the panel part of my channel. I didn't mention it earlier, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that. Then the on Tuesdays/Wednesdays, that's my other streaming day. I've mostly put them onto Wednesdays now because of work and things, but turn on your notifications. That's what they're there for. And
Do what she says.
that's yes. What's the name? Show Bobs. Oh wait, never mind. Shut up.
Show Pops. She read it.
That is a good joke though. Yeah, so then the diagram stuff is usually on the Tuesdays. I haven't done any in a while, but this has really inspired me. I'm gonna do start Blue Eye Samurai next week, but also I'm doing drawing. So whatever, just come around, hang out. That's it. We're chaotic where I am.
We
And
do
thanks for
No, I was gonna ask if you do the diagramming live for this show. Would you do that for live? I know you do it for the debates,
Yes.
but for the Blood Samurai, you do it live.
Well, basically, what seems to happen with my diagramming things is because I don't get time to just go and record and then cut it all together and edit it. I just do it live because it's just I would love to make it nice and pretty, but I'll just do it live and interact with chat and everything. So I would do it live, have it in the corner, whatever. Stop, pause, diagram, do it live. It takes forever, but each of my streams is around 4 hours. So just hop on. I would do it live, and hopefully, maybe the idea is to make a highlight that is then a separate video.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. When am I coming on?
Whenever you like, you are always welcome. We start usually about 8 o'clock Gulf Standard Time, because it's the only time that matters until I move. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you
Yeah, really
coming
enjoyed
on.
it.
Gooch.
Oh, well, I've got lots going on. I will be on Vex's tomorrow, her podcast, her 8750, and then Saturday night Hypnosis on Saturday. Next week, though, I'm really excited. Tuesday night, come join me on Diabolical Souls Presents. I will have the co-creator of The Boys.
That's so cool.
And Happy. I will have the one and only Derek Robertson. He's the artist for the graphic novel The Boys, and tons of other stuff like Wolverine.
That's awesome.
Punisher, and all that. He's worked closely with Garth Ennis, and really excited to have him on. And then Wednesday, I'll have Kelsey Shannon on, back on, and we'll be talking about his newest project, Shank, and all the other stuff that he's done. He's a legend when it comes to comic book art. Monday I'll be on Cannoli's channel. We'll do the second part to the Two Towers. I'll be on Pre-Kings before that. I'll be bouncing around. I'll be everywhere. So, but yeah, come check out Diabolical Souls Presents. I just had an interview with Bone Bridger yesterday. It was a great time. So check that out if you can. I'm pushing for 1,000. So any subscribers, that'd be great. So, and thanks for having me on, Zax. I always appreciate coming. I love being on here, and everyone in the chat, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. So
the chat does rule here.
Yeah, they do.
Lucky to have them. Go sub to Diabolical Souls Presents. Jay does great stuff, and he's really picking up steam here. He's on every stream. He gets these insane guests, and his one-on-one interviews are outstanding. He's got a natural style about him that really pulls people in, and I think everyone I've seen you interview always says like you ask them questions that no one else has ever asked them before. Not in a gay way either.
Yeah, well, that's in the back room. But I mean, my thing is like it's easy to have these creators come on, and like content creators, actors, whatever you want to call it, like whatever. It's easier to sit there and do the quick plug. Here's my book. But I like to look behind the mask and actually get to know the creator, and people get invested a little bit more. And it's been great. I've had over 100 interviews, and it's been a lot of fun. I have nothing negative to say, so I appreciate the kind words.
Thanks,
Jay, do you ever think how do you feel about the whole DSP thing? You get what I'm saying? Like you using those initials? Do you think that?
I didn't think about that.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I was like,
Oh my gosh. As long as you don't jerk off on stream, you should be good.
Well, too late. But I mean, like you don't know what's going on right now. But I'm not gonna worry about. I'm just building my own brand, my own name. I'm surrounding myself around really good people. I don't worry about that stuff. I don't worry about what's going on with all the CG stuff. I just focus on what I'm doing and how I present myself and just having fun. That's all I worry about. I'm not worried about all the other garbage. So
I get that, and I'm not caught up. I don't know all about this DSP guy. I just heard people say his name or whatever. But when I see those initials, and I'm like, look, man,
who's DSP, dude? I'm a little confused with Nas as well. What are we talking about?
You don't
go and watch. It's a Gundam.
Darkside Phil.
Yeah. Darkside Phil.
Everyone knows me as Gooch now, anyways. so thanks to the Copa's channel. Like ever since this beautiful drawing came up.
Oh, well, hold on.
There it is.
The whole thing.
God damn, that's ripped.
Is that your?
Yeah, gosh.
He's an artist,
Oh
everybody,
my-
and he's
oh,
an artist.
I mean, it's Gasman behind it as well.
Hell yeah.
I can actually bring up a piece of actual artwork. I can actually do that.
I think I've just seen a portal into Chris Chan's dimension. Blah.
Yeah, you might have. But it's legendary now. His gooch is legendary. It got over. So I say run.
Yeah.
And he's been working it
Here.
out too and everything.
Yeah.
It's ripped.
Get that
Here's
I've seen
here's
it.
a piece. Here's a piece of work that I did. a
Yeah,
couple
no,
years
it's
ago.
real tight.
No, I
He keeps sending me pictures, and I have to like.
I shared it with you, Copa. I
Oh.
shared it with
See?
Zach.
Ah, there we go. I see.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, yeah, that's one. I got a couple here. I can.
Yeah.
That's not a gooch.
No.
No.
That could be a gooch.
That's
I mean,
That's him
super
bust-
gooch. Super gooch. Yeah, you
That's
know,
a gooch busting out.
yeah. That's
what
that's
that-
the busting out. That is the gooch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are these drawn? Or is this?
Yeah, this is all drawn by me and inked by me.
That's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Zoom into
Yeah,
his
man.
leg if you can. Can you zoom into his leg?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what Jay's gooch looks like, guys.
Nice.
He snuck it in there.
yeah.
It's just
Do you
swole.
Jay, do you start yours traditional first or?
Oh yeah,
Or-
yeah. Same as you, traditional, and then I go to digital art or digital inking. I'll ink with pen, but I like the digital inking now, so it's a lot easier.
I like to surround myself with talented people, so I have no talent, so it's
Well, that's a talent
It's a
right
nice
there.
cover.
Why am I here?
Why are you here?
Yeah, well, also like, what?
Your silky smooth voice
That's right.
and that
Why?
hot
As-
and that hot mustache, dude.
I'll say this: since I've met Andrew, he's taught me a lot about. You and Copa have taught me a lot about the cinematic, background stuff. And I because I'm a sponge, I want to learn, and I have no problem saying I don't know what the fuck that means. So I appreciate it. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of knowledge in there, because both you guys have a lot of passion for film, and so when you say something, I actually listen. So
I just make it up. I'm just good at learning.
Andrew, what's going on with you, dude? Thanks for coming on with no notice.
Yeah, I mean, I usually disagree with one person on the panel, usually any night. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's fun hanging out here. I'm usually not doing anything on Wednesday nights, so it's fun. I'm working on a Rebel Moon critique
God.
still.
oh boy,
I finally have gotten past the farm village in terms of everything wrong with them. So I can finally start watching the movie.
Have you guys seen that Zack Snyder Star Wars video that's been on YouTube
Oh, no.
everywhere?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Holy shit, guys! Like,
Send it
if-
after.
Yeah, I will. I'll drop it afterwards. But it's recut. They recut Star Wars to make it match Snyder. So Darth Vader enters the Tantive 5 or whatever, or Tantive 4. I can't remember what the ship's name is. And it's like, boom, ramps, slow mo, right? As he walks through. And then
oh god.
when C-3PO and R2-D2 get into the escape pod, and they're watching the Star Destroyer from the window, the entire scene is C-3PO doing expositional dialogue of the entire
Oh my
entire movie.
God.
It's fucking great, dude.
Hey, so
Um,
there's this one random desert planet named
It's even
Tatooine, and we're
worse.
going there right
It's
now.
pretty
And then
much
we're gonna meet
that.
a
It's
little
so
ho-dum
bad.
kid named Luke. He's a
It is-
white
Please link
bitch.
that. Where is that?
Andrew, I hope you mentioned that. What's her name? Is it Cora from Rebel
Cora?
Moon? I can't. Yeah,
Rebel Moon,
she's
yeah.
a Mary Sue. Please tell me you're gonna say she's a Mary Sue. Of all Mary
I've gotten to the barn fight, and I think I say in my script, I'm like, I don't like using the word Mary Sue, so we'll get to this later.
Leon's gonna flip.
I mean,
Yep. Yeah,
man,
he
I had to I had to watch number one, I had to watch the movie again. And number two, I had to watch that scene frame by frame to make sure I wasn't missing anything. God, it's horrendous.
Oh, that's.
Go sub to Andrew, and I got real hosty. You got 9 subs. Let's get you to 10, and that darn kitty. I want to say let's get you to 700, but you're there already. So
Yes,
there's that.
thank you very much.
yeah.
See how long we stay.
Yeah. So let's get hosty to 10.
Yeah.
True.
Let's do it.
Where's Squeak
We're not-
at? Is she at 100 yet?
We're not leaving until
Yeah. Because I have to take a piss.
no one's going home.
What is Lofty doing?
What is
Oh
Lofty
man,
doing?
I wanted to be number 10. I'm 11.
Oh, there we go. Done.
Boom.
Got it done.
AJ, besides simping for Derek
What's up?
June, what are you up to over there?
For generic July?
Oh my goodness.
Your
That was a
defense
good
of
one.
him is just unreal sometimes. dude.
That was a terrible good one.
No, that's a good one. Copa cooked with that one. That was crazy.
God damn. Yo. Where was I sipping for Eric, man?
When are you simping for Eric? When aren't you simping for Eric? Take a break.
Oh my goodness. Gotta look out for my brother.
That's right.
Everybody attacking him.
Yeah, he's your boy.
Over.
You were
Look, man, anyway.
Tuesday night. You were up defending him till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Since you asked about him, Zax. You asked for that.
I did ask.
And I answered. I gave. I pleased. Did I please you, Master Zax?
I like how you said that. Though. That last thing was. I did like that. Yeah. What's going on with you? You got your GoFundMe. It's
Look,
in the,
man,
in the chat. You're an artist. You do amazing stuff.
Yes.
You try to avoid doing it at the same time, and so you need someone to push you a little bit, and maybe a coach of some kind would help you. But you
spank my ass.
People are trying to get a hold of you to like do. They want to do commissions with you, and they can't because you got them blocked and shit like that. So AJ, we got to work that out, okay?
He's like, don't DM my ass. I don't know who you are. Some rando goes, hey man, I'm willing to pay a commission for you if you do some art for me. He's like, fuck off. I don't know you.
Not rando at all. Actually, this actually happened. It was like, hey, can you please get a message to AJ for me that I want to hire him? Like, okay.
To you?
To me
Hold
to
on,
get
bro, I
to AJ.
Oh my god.
I don't
He's-
block.
AJ, you got people reaching out to your friends, dog.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't have anybody blocked. I don't know what that situation was.
That's what it happened. It happened.
AJ's like,
so-
I'm willing to do commissions. You just got to figure out where I'm at and how to
Just
get a hold
find
of
me.
me.
We gotta send carrier
Hold
pigeon.
him down.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Find me to give me money.
Yeah. You want to give me money? You better find my ass.
Man, I was totally unaware of that being the situation.
Dude, it's true though. You're on Discord. You can't message you.
Dude, that's not true. People
It is true.
message me on Discord. I don't respond, but people message me.
This is what holds your people back, AJ. You got all this talent and you just don't know how to present it. So you need someone
Look,
to
man.
sell you, just like in history.
Hey, as long as it works,
Oh
that's
my
fine.
god.
Again.
Wait, if someone's selling him, it has to be his own. So you gotta get Left Eye and get Ego. Left Eye will sell you.
True.
He's a terrible salesman.
He doesn't even have my information anymore.
Thank you. You're Barmy for the 2 gifted memberships. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you this clip here.
I'm not hugely experienced in dating. I am at least experienced on the dating scene in terms of apps and how the whole loop goes, because in the end, what usually happens after the first date, whether or not if you get ghosted, you have the date, things go well, and you're never talked to again, or any number of things, or you just end up getting ghosted before the date even happens, or you get blocked or whatever. You get stood up. you go back right into the start of the loop again, swiping left and right because you're depressed. It's like, oh God, I hated doing this. I don't want to fucking do it. Oh, fine, I'll fucking do it. Oh, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you, Mom.
Yeah, that's our boy Hunter J.
Oh my god.
Patron saint of Zach's Tube.
Yes, he is the patron saint
Dude,
of
his
Zach's
face.
Tube.
His face in that conversation like defaulted to like this like shriveled up look.
Oh.
Well, you see what happened to him too now, because now he's the blue-haired guy. So he's had different characters.
Is he back?
We found him. No, he's
No,
gone.
I gotta find him again somewhere. I
He's
found
on-
him.
he's on
I found him once.
hiatus.
I will find him again.
When they needed him most, he vanished.
A small
Let's
dose
say
of
this.
Fuckboy Buds too. We have to get Buds. Number 47.
Yeah, number 47's got to come on.
Because I was letting him sleep in my lab. Because I pulled him from the rain. And that's where he's going to go again. 3 hots in a cot. And all the anal sex you can handle, motherfucker.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Buds 187.
Buds 187.
Civilian.
Thank you, Army.
Civilian Navy SEALs Division.
That one where he's walking through the house and
yeah.
Oh,
There's
with the
random-
squirt?
with the random lady just sitting there. Irene was sitting there, just like on the bed.
Irene, remember when you squirted into my coffee mug?
Fuck.
That's why we have. That's why we
He's
have.
also not back.
Urine destroyer in every room because of Irene. You know what? He's a mixture of Steven Seagal and Trump. Like, that's right. Irene squirted into my coffee, and we have piss
Gary
destroyer
Busey.
everywhere. Yeah,
Bit of
Gary
a
Busey
Busey.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So AJ, what can people do to get a hold of you? How can they find you to hire you to do commissions for them?
Y'all can find me on Twitter. Seems to be where I'm most active. Copa, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
I'm not.
I'm also on Instagram too, but there are some people I see over there. Discord, it's a thing. I respond sometimes. You can message me. I don't block people. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment and say, hey, what's up, AJ? Hey, we're coming to the stream. It's fun over here. Yada, yada, yada. And then look out for videos. And I've been posting more art, trying to be more active with the community members and all of that. And there's plans happening in the future, in the near future. And yeah, looks cool. The future is bright. Be there for it with the shades on.
Can I say this, AJ, is like 100% being real, is that when I see your artwork like featured in Twitter or whatever, I don't even have to look at who's posting or whatever. I know it's yours. Like you have a very distinct style. So like seeing Sassy's or Cannolis or Brahmables profile pictures, my brain goes, AJ. So, dude, I mean, you get that business side going with you, you're going to be sought after. Guarantee it. Just like, open up your DMs, bro.
That's right.
They're open. Message me.
Block them. We don't know them.
I don't know you.
We don't know them, boys.
Hi, mister. Can I have some artwork? I'll pay you money. Get out of here, kid. Scram.
Scram. I don't do that anymore.
AJ hearted my heart from White Bear. Thanks, Whitey. Appreciate
Nah,
you,
man,
dude.
a lot of people came through whipping me with the cash. Like, make this, draw this. And I'm thankful. I'm very blessed. I'm pleased with the response people have been giving me and, all of that. It's rough asking for help, but it's like, man, look, fuck it. The Lord put him here for a reason. Let's see what happens. But yeah, at the same time, man, I'm trying to create something. And like you said, like Copa and Jay and Zach, y'all have been super crazy supportive. I'm so appreciative of the path that I've been on and the people that I've met along the way. Cause yeah, man, I did move out here. I don't have anybody except Ego. I found Ego. But besides that, it's all of you motherfuckers online. And y'all been what's up, man. It's been fun every week. I've talked to people about how nervous you'll get like streaming and like trying to put on a show and entertain people and whatnot. But it's like everybody come through is like, oh, you're here. We're glad you opened up this space for us to come talk to you and the rest of the chat, all the other homies, and talk our shit. Like Jenna was just saying, where's Nas? It feels weird without one of the, one of ours being here. So
It's
cool
weird
being
when
a part of.
Boosh isn't in the chat or Dildo.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm trying to create the next Looney Tunes around here, be the next Walt Disney as well, with what I'm creating in the world. And see a lot of that incorporated into the channel. And ain't no telling what it's gonna be.
Yeah,
a lot of talented people. And
Yeah,
we'll see
Disney
what-
had his DMs open though, dude.
My DMs open. Message me, Copa.
I message you all the time. You keep blocking me and unblocking me, man.
Stop it. Never. I don't waste my energy doing shit like that.
I got a
All right.
request to play some gotta play Irene. So people who don't know, this is the last time anyone ever saw Irene. She's in the top right hand corner. Keep a close eye on her and then get ready for the dance music to kick in as she goes off into the unknown. CBR, this one's for you.
Combo aren't good enough.
I guess not.
For lack of better terms, I've never seen Tim drink on stream.
Okay.
I just
Oh yeah, I just got completely ignored when I brought up Dempsey's thing. Let's watch his song he made.
Watch her.
Oh sure, yeah.
Here she
I'll
goes.
take another shot, but I'm gonna hype
Yeah.
this shit up. Right.
Okay, Tim's on a fucking
I'm gonna put some
Vision Quest.
Gonna take another shot of water from his fake vodka.
Irene, are you okay?
All right. Let's go.
Wait, God, what happened?
Tim.
No, go back to all.
Tim's like, oh, enough of that. You can't show that.
Look at this. So for all the haters, who watch my channel,
How did I read past out? You got like 5 kids right
I'm the fucking guy.
Tim, go back to all of us and turn the fucking music down, please. I don't think that was anything.
That's right, baby.
Somebody might be dying. Tim, somebody might be dying. Go back. Tim.
Thank you. Go back so we can see what happened to Irene. Holy shit.
Something happened.
Irene.
What happened?
What do you think happened? Oh, her kid
I
got
know
the phone.
you
That was
asked
good.
the goat to take a drink, bro. Like you were doubting me, but I took the drink. But now you're doubting me again. Tim's weak sauce. Oh, you can't do the drink.
That's what they're saying in the chat.
Where the fuck is your?
We didn't
drink?
say that. No, we didn't say that.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, nobody
Tim,
said that
we
here.
didn't say that. The chat's saying that. We're just relaying it to you. I don't know why the chat thinks you're so weak.
Yes, Miss Sassy,
What's
where
going
are
on with
you?
Irene?
I found your.
Should be contact.
More importantly, what the hell is that on
What the
her
hell's
ceiling?
going on in the chat, bro?
What the fuck is
Yeah,
on her
what is
ceiling?
that?
one of those things you got from
Hopa,
the,
no,
the
like
things
you
you
guys
put in
are
the
all too
quarter.
afraid.
and
I
they
remember
stick
my first
things.
beer. I think Brahma knows.
No, the
These
sticky
people
hands
are
problem.
too weak.
Is that what that is?
These people are too weak to
Yeah,
come on.
sticky hands
I
on the
remember my
ceiling.
first beer. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
We're here.
That's fine.
Turn on the fan if
For all
you need help.
and you're still fucking.
Yeah.
I
We're
remember when I
trying
was
to
a kid.
figure out what happened to
You're still
Irene.
fucking haters. Like when I can continue to prove myself, and you're still.
What
fucking
do words
bitch.
mean?
One of the greatest nights. One of the greatest nights of streaming ever.
That's so good.
Hey, you know what I never noticed until right now? Is how Brahmable looks so like, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
on right now?
He
Like,
wants out
He
so
wants
bad.
out so bad. You see how fast he starts smoking that cigarette, like trying to figure shit out.
I love that. Thank you, Tim. And pour one out for Irene.
Yeah.
She was apparently seen. I was very worried the first time I saw that. And then I was, everybody in chat, I mentioned it. Somebody said that they saw her after this. So
Well, they saw an Irene.
There is an
saw it in chat.
Irene. It might be the
Irene.
ghost of Irene.
But the timing of the music is so like it's almost like supernatural. How you
It's
line how
fucking cinematic, dude.
Yeah.
It could not have happened. Yes, it's amazing.
And only Tim. It would
Yeah.
it would only be Tim. I love how he
Dawn-
just he full screens on himself. She dies and immediately he's like, no. You can't have that much attention.
It's a Tim show.
But I
It was
think,
like
honestly, I think Tim didn't notice for a very long time. That's
He
also what
noticed.
I don't think Tim notices anything.
it was too perfect. He had to have noticed.
The cue was
reminded
crazy.
me. It reminded me of like a magic trick where it's like I'm distracting you from that. Pay attention to what's going on over here.
He had that shitty house music queued up and it's labeled in case someone dies on stream.
It was so perfect. It was like wow, 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 and then Irene was going.
And then he
It
had
started
his
playing
bottle
as
there.
she was falling.
Yeah.
No, the best part is when like they're screaming at it. Someone's died, Tim, and he goes, "I was doing a shot. You were telling me to do a shot." He doesn't even listen to what they're saying. He's talking about doing shots.
Yeah.
I'm doing a shot, bro.
I remember my
down?
first beer.
This thing just happened.
I
when
remember
you're
my
screaming.
first beer.
Oh yeah, and then Don is the voice of reason. He's like, someone just. Irene, are you
That's like
okay?
that's the first and only time I've ever seen Don break his character.
That's right.
And he's the first one to be like, Irene, are you all right?
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, Don, are you all right? Like, who are you?
Irene didn't even go down yet.
No.
Because I want to watch it again.
He was.
Is there a what?
Link to that clip.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I'll send it for sure.
We have plenty.
You see Irene's eyes roll back as she just falls to
good
the ground.
That means Don was just keeping his eye on her the entire night. He's like, this one's dying. I mean,
she looked out of it at the beginning of the clip.
well, if you watch the actual entire stream, she starts with like a handle of Fireball and it's already 75% gone. And she's doing like, they're like, everybody, let's take a shot. And she has like this big snifter of Fireball. She's taking shots from. No wonder she died. I'm surprised she was alive to start the stream.
Her eyes are getting smaller and smaller too.
Yeah. I like right before she dies, you can tell that she's seeing some ancestor that's confusing her. Like,
Koopa, you were concerned because you were like, "That's a view from Irene's shitter."
well, dude, it was like there's shit on the ceiling, bro. My favorite was Zach's. Is like, turn on the fan if you're okay.
I really wanted the band. It would have been really comedic.
Just one rotation.
Don't reach for the phone next to
and
you.
stop.
Get all the way up into.
The panel's yelling at Tim to turn down the music and we gotta see what's happened to Irene. He just doesn't care. He's like,
Yeah.
you thought I wouldn't have a drink.
Dude, how long? We went for like 20 minutes straight, chat and panel telling Tim, somebody died on your stream. And he was just flat out ignoring all of us.
Doesn't he do that a lot?
Is it Dempsey's? Yeah. Is it Dempsey's birthday today?
It's Dempsey's birthday.
Fuck yeah.
Happy birthday, Dempsey. Happy birthday, dude. Yeah, everyone loves you, Dempsey. Happy birthday. In fact, I think that it's possible that Jay's going to sing happy birthday to you.
Yes.
No, it's not possible.
Yeah, Tim is cold-blooded. Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Postman, first time on here. Appreciate you, dude.
Oh, no, he's lofty.
Oh, yes, Lofty. Sorry, Lofty.
Yeah.
Wait, also, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Yeah. We can't hear Tim either.
Wait, am I muted? Oh, shit.
Tim, we can't hear Tim. R.I.P. Tim.
That was also a great stream. I got to give you that one too, Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty, you got that one was. I think that's probably the best one. That and Irene are tied. Yeah.
Was that 3 hours worth of that we did?
Yeah, we did about 3 hours worth of that skit. So we all jump on to to Tim's stream.
Oh,
but
I
we
think I
all
heard-
pre-
I think you told
yeah
me about this.
we all pretend that we can either hear Tim or see him. So then we all start having conversations with each other. And Tim is trying to figure out the situation, and then he starts bringing in other people.
You guys,
I can't remember who it was, but we were telling him that we couldn't hear him either. So he spent like another hour trying to figure out his audio. Yeah.
then everybody eventually got on with the gag. So because some people would come in and they're like, "Oh, I can hear you." Oh, okay.
Oh,
and then they would all get on board with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the birth of the Copacore stream was fantastic as well. That's where we like 9 or 10 of us went into Tim's stream all as me. And
I
filled his
remember that one.
Yeah, and that was the birth of the Copacore. It was just all of me. And then everybody else on the panel was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" So that was fantastic as well.
Fucking villains.
Those were the days. Tim doesn't do the after
So fun.
party. Yeah, the after party Circle of Jerks streams anymore. That keeps us
No, he
up till
doesn't.
6 a.m.
Bro.
Those were the best, dude. Those were the days.
He's really missing out. And thank you again, you're Barney.
It's generic July.
We love Eric.
Well, I think that's gonna be it. Because Hostman, I think, is dead, possibly.
I think he is dead.
Yep.
He got over 10 subscribers, so he's like, "Fucking, I'm out."
He's like, "I beat life. GG. I'm out."
Yeah, good game. Yeah, good game.
Drive this truck.
They
into the
said I
freeway.
wouldn't.
It wouldn't be nothing.
They said I wouldn't get 10.
All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, chat, you guys. Please leave a comment after the stream. That helps a lot. And we are now going to play out with that darn kitty's favorite song.
Respect to the trans community. And fuck you, trans fools.
Trans people are my friends. Trans folks gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans people are my friends. Trans folks gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Transform, show your fucking out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. Transform, show your fucking out. I'll knock you out. You better watch out. Trans people are my friends. Transforms gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans people are my friends. Transforms gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans people are my friends.